We're taking you on a New York Food Marathon from mouth-watering new bites to timeless old-school classics. This is your ultimate guide to the best eats in the Big Apple for 2025. Let's dive in.
We're at No One, which is New York's first Korean-American gastropub, and they have a legendary burger that's calling our name.
What's up, guys? Welcome to No One, #1 burger in New York City. It's a mural of my grandfather, not me. Everyone thought it was me. I'm not a narcissist. Come on in, come on in. Fresh patties. So it's really a blend of using some nostalgic ingredients with some high quality ingredients. Like we use a great blend of meat. We smash it. It's a technique that really matters. Season it with our special umami seasoning. What's in it? I can't tell you. There's our sesame buns. We get custom-made sesame-seeded buns from a local bakery. Look how soft and airy. Look at all those air pockets. We get a nice sear on one side. And while the other side is cooking, we're gonna start to layer some cheese over the top. So now, we're gonna give it a quick steam, just to melt the cheese over the top. So I love American cheese because it just melts right into the cracks and crevice of the burger patty. Every nook and cranny, that's what I really love. And we sear every burger patty to order. Sesame seed is so important. So this burger was really inspired by my favorite burger growing up. When I moved to America when I was 8 years old, I fell in love with Big Mac. The sesame seeds on the bun, that to me is like childhood right there. Nice and toasted. This is our kimchi special sauce. I'm gonna do some raw onion on the bottom, add some freshness and a little bite. This is our homemade roasted kimchi, my mom's recipe. So we make this here. We make about 100 pounds of Napa cabbage a week. And then on top, we're gonna add some of our homemade house pickles. So when I came up with this burger, the real thing was Korean barbecue is meat and kimchi, whether it's pork belly, you know, marinated meats, whatever. So how can I take Korean traditional flavors and incorporate that into an American staple as a burger? So the bun is a vehicle for a Korean barbecue in my mind. We don't play around, #1.
I don't think I've ever been so hungry watching a burger made in my entire
really?
life. I'm telling you, this is a pretty burger. It's been calling out to me.
It even feels nice to hold.
All right, ready? Let's take a bite. Something that Jay said in there is really standing out to me. These two buns here are just holding together that Korean barbecue experience. And as soon as I tasted the kimchi and the kimchi sauce with the moist patties and the cheese, oh, flavor explosion off the charts.
This has to be the best burger I ever had. Like, right away you bite into it, that pillowy soft bun. You got that pack full of like kimchi. I don't know what to say about this. This thing is perfection, really.
It's hard to pinpoint any weaknesses when the two sesame seed buns, he's searing it and buttering it at the same time. Every single part of this burger has been so well thought out. And even with so much going on, this is memorable. And I think the word legendary does make a lot of sense here.
A cheeseburger meets Korean barbecue. It's really unlike anything I've had before.
And that's what they're going for. I mean, that's the theme here, the Korean-American experience. With some beers, this is Maku, Korean beer. A lot of kimchis I've had in the past have been much spicier than this one, but I think this is the perfect temperature because if it was too spicy, it might take away from the burger too much. You ever get something that you like so much, but you don't want to eat it too fast because you want to savor every bite? This is a burger like that for me.
It looks so pretty, I didn't even want to touch it at first.
I'm trying to think if I've ever had a better burger in my life, and I'm struggling. I've had some good ones in New York, like at Raoul's, we filmed there. That was really memorable, but I don't know, maybe because I saw this birthed right in front of me, this burger will always have a special place in my heart as I eat it. You said 10 out of 10. I'm not a ratings channel, but this would be pretty close to a 10 out of 10 for me, as far as burgers are concerned. What about you?
For me, it's a 10 out of 10. They perfected it with this. Another thing about this thing is the price. 21 bucks. I'll easily pay $21 for this.
Normally, I would find it very difficult to justify a $21 burger, but in this case, I would justify the cost. You know, this isn't a fast food spot. I think this is a burger you come to celebrate something. This is a nice date night. This is a nice friends night, catching up. You want to spend some time here to enjoy it. You've heard of Shake Shack, you've heard of Five Guys, but have you heard of 7th Street Burger, which has built a cult following in the city since it opened just 2 years ago, and now there are more than a dozen locations, and this is one of the hottest burger spots in all of New York, and we're gonna see if it actually lives up to that hype. Action Kid, 7th Street Burger, you've heard all the hype. What are your first impressions?
I mean, this is basically a hole in the wall right here.
And they make decision making really simple because their menu barely has any choices. Cheeseburger, double, impossible, fries, Coke, that's it. Keep it simple, 3 cheeseburgers. They bring you the burgers outside. We are sitting under heat lamps. It's about 40 degrees right now. This is nice. I'm gonna let you get yours first.
This thing is greasy and sloppy. Look at this, the patty is bigger than the bun, like 1.5 times the size of the bun here.
All their burgers are served with grilled onions, American cheese, pickles, and their house sauce, and a griddle toasted Martin potato bun. Also notice the crisp edges of the patty here. One of New York's hottest burgers right now, 7th Street. Let's try it. Not quite a White Castle slider, not quite a Shack burger, but perfectly in between. And the first thing that hit me was the onions. Caramelized onions on top.
What hit me at first is the sauce. This is kind of like a Big Mac sauce. This thing is amazing. The sauce is really what makes it. I love how thin the beef is and just satisfying overall.
I love the simplicity of this. You know exactly what you're getting. No lettuce, no tomato, just plenty of grease, plenty of burger here.
No frills.
No frills. Yeah, I'm telling you, the sauce brings it all together. That and the onions, it would be perfect to me if the onions were just a little bit more caramelized, a little bit more, but other than that, it's a good fast food burger, I have to say.
Yeah, this thing, $6.50. I mean, great price, great value too.
You know, I've eaten at all the city chains, and a lot of people say that Shake Shack is overrated. I am a Shake Shack fan. I do not think 7th Street Burger is overrated. I think I'm jumping on the hype train. They got one of these in Brooklyn I'm gonna be hitting up near me now. It ain't pretty, but it works.
Yep.
And these just keep expanding and expanding. In 2 years, there's over 12, which is now matched Five Guys. Shake Shack's got about 3 dozen, so this could be coming to a city near you. And why not come to the original, the OG 7th Street Burger on 7th Street? What do you think? Shake Shack versus 7th Street, what would you pick?
7th Street. The price is definitely better.
Yeah.
I think Shake Shack's at least $8.
I think for me it would depend on what kind of mood I'm in. If I want a couple of burgers, I'd pick 7th Street. I'm really on the fence. I think I need to try more of these before I give my final opinion on it. This is Lexington Candy Shop. It's been open since 1925, and it is the city's oldest running family luncheonette. All right, Action Kid, what are your impressions walking through these doors?
Wow, this is like a really, really retro diner. I mean, I've seen this place before when I've walked by, but I've never stepped inside.
First time for me too. This is definitely my favorite kind of diner in New York. I mean, this place is absolutely legendary. I heard their milkshakes are really good as well.
Does this remind you of your past with the New Jersey diners?
This is like a New Jersey diner, but even more vintage. This is more like corner luncheonette. This is dying out in New York. These are very tough to find.
The store started in 1925, and they made candy and chocolates down in the basement. We're on our 4th generation, so it's still in the same family, still in the same location.
And we're featuring the Butter Burger. What can you say about it?
Well, it's a decadent product. Like what they do in the steakhouses after the steak's cooked. They add butter to it to give it that nice glistening taste. Everything just tastes better with butter.
I'll do one of the Butter Burgers, fries, and I want to do one of your famous Coca-Cola floats.
Butter burger and small egg cream.
Thank you so much. This is their world famous Coca-Cola float. This is one of the only places left in New York you can still get Coke the old-fashioned way. Coca-Cola syrup, seltzer, and a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. I have never tried this before, and I'm excited. Wow. This feels like something I would run in here for at 3 o'clock on a school day in 1965, and I'd be sitting at the counter enjoying this. This tastes like a childhood I never had.
So egg cream, for those who don't know, is syrup and seltzer water, and really good.
That's old school New York City drink right there. That's another tough one to find. The only place in Manhattan I know that's very famous for it is Ray's Candy Shop, where we have filmed before. That's another destination worth visiting. But when they said butter burger, they meant it. Like we got butter on the patty, you got butter on the bun.
I don't know if butter would be a good replacement for cheese. I'll be curious.
And you can do butter and cheese. I just thought it was too much. I wanted to see just the butter.
You can. There's a butter cheeseburger too.
The butter is glistening. You could just hear the juices and the butter dripping out as I took that first bite. It's so juicy. I never really thought about putting butter on a burger before. It sounds a little interesting to me, but I'm all about this right now. Combined with the Coca-Cola float, this is really like going back in time. It's like being a kid.
The patty is solid, the bun is soft, and crunchy lettuce, but that butter, it works. It's like definitely a replacement for cheese, or you could even add cheese on this if you want. It won't hurt.
Do not sleep on the fries here. And normally I want to douse my fries with ketchup. I don't even think it's necessary here.
You don't need it here, to be honest. These are like nice, hearty fries.
They were telling me with a Coke float, you could eat the ice cream with a spoon, but I've just left it in, and I'm starting to get some of that vanilla ice cream flavor towards the bottom. So this is a drink that just has a big payoff at the end. The longer you let it sit, it tastes so good. Or if you just order a Coke, period, they'll give it to you with syrup and seltzer, but I say go for it. I think add the ice cream. This is definitely elevated, the butter burger. This is what you have to order if you come here, if you're in the mood for it.
Oh yeah.
And you combine with the experience of sitting in one of New York's oldest running family luncheonettes. This just checks off so many boxes, and it's why I put it in the video.
You definitely know this place is retro when you have like tens of bottles of Coke against the wall in the window.
Yeah, they really do, you're right. They have some old looking Cokes that I've never seen before. Is that like the 1980 Olympics on there? If you have kids, take them here. Or if you're a kid at heart, like me, come here as well. Mexican Candy Shop definitely has a new widespread appeal. You know, right before we came in, it was absolutely jam-packed. They've gone viral on social media many times over. And I'm really happy that a new generation is discovering a lost art. If you're not from the US, you probably never saw anything like this unless it was in a movie. New York's most iconic food spots are disappearing, and today we're on a mission to highlight them. These legendary family businesses have fed locals for generations. We're meeting up with 5 NYC food legends so we can find out what makes them truly irreplaceable. Only one problem, I don't have connections to these food icons, but I know someone who does. I'm joined with New York's unofficial talent scout, New York Nico, and we're starting at the Hot Dog King.
Right outside the Met Museum. You'll meet the Hot Dog King in a few minutes. He's been selling hot dogs for, I think, about 40 years now. He's got a very interesting story. I won't give too much away.
I'm Dan Rossi, the New York Hot Dog King.
How did you get into the hot dog business? Take us back to the beginning.
Oh boy. I was a sheet metal worker. One of the men in the shop had a heart attack, and he asked me to make him a hot dog cart because he was going to retire. And when I got done with it, he felt better he wasn't going to retire. So we went ahead and tried to sell it. I sold it within one day. I doubled the money it cost me. I built one, I built another. 10 years later, had 499 carts on the street. I was the largest vending company in the history of New York City. Had a little problem with a guy named Donald Trump who opposed veteran vendors, and I'm a disabled veteran. I did a couple of tours in Vietnam. Me and him went head to head. He had Rudy Giuliani in his pocket. Next thing I know, I'm out of business.
I've heard that you've run into some trouble where you can't leave your spot.
Yeah. What's happening now, originally it was just having problems with the Met, but then it turned out where they started to reinforce the black market of the industry. They would hire these veterans that were down and out, tell them stories that they can take any spot they want. And one morning we came and they were plopped right here. They just picked them up off the street and they were just trying to muscle the spot. That was happening about 12 years ago. First 3 years what I did was I would set up a chair in the push cart and I would doze off. And then they passed the rule that you can't be in the push cart, so I ended up moving into the van. This is it. I just lay out some blankets and I go to sleep. It's kind of lousy.
It's crazy.
You know, I'd much rather be home in a bed.
What keeps you going, being willing to sleep in your car almost every night for years just to keep this one space?
It's a question of survival. When they came and they attacked me and took my company, they forced me into bankruptcy and homelessness. So I went from having a great life to having nothing.
On a more positive note, what are your favorite things about being a vendor here?
Oh, I love people. You can sit here, you can laugh all day long with some of these things. I mean, you get people that are arguing over whether it's ketchup or mustard.
Ketchup or mustard, what do you think?
Never put ketchup on it. But I do it, but in the beginning it was hard for me to do it.
Yeah. Dan, can you tell us a difference between how you do it and like a typical dirty water dog in the city?
You don't want to have dirty water dogs. I'll tell you why. The water sucks out the flavor. So in the beginning, you're getting a really cardboard hot dog, really. But at the end of the day, that water is actually dark brown green. The hot dogs, when you take them out, they're green.
Yeah.
And a lot of the vendors, what they'll do is they'll wrap them up and they'll sell them to somebody the next day. You want to stay far away from it. If you came here 6 months from now or a year from now, you're going to get the same thing. You're going to get a better one because we're working on our own brand now. So you're going to get a better, yeah.
I haven't tried the New York, so I'll try that.
I'll do a New York also.
New York is nice. It's just mustard, sauerkraut, just a little bit onion. And that's New York. That's the best way to have a hot dog.
How much longer do you think you're gonna work here?
90 years old. Then I go to Alaska. I'm going to Pan for gold.
How old are you now?
75 in 2 days.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
We're gonna go eat these on the steps of the Met, just like a tourist would. New York style, sauerkraut, onion, mustard. Let's rock. It's got a really nice snap, very crunchy. What do you think sets this apart from like other hot dogs you've had?
The fact that it's grilled and the guy who's selling it to you. He has amazing personality, it just makes it taste better.
It's really the truth. When you like the person that's selling you the food, I think it does taste better. You're helping to support a disabled veteran. And he is in like the one spot that as a tourist, if you're watching, you're very likely to go to, the Met. He's right outside of the door. The man's got a story and he's extremely friendly. I mean, throughout everything he's been through here, been arrested before. And this is the type of person we're showcasing. We still got 4 more to go. A lot of interesting stories and a lot of reasons to keep coming to these businesses because they're not gonna be here forever.
He says he wants to work until he's 90. That's only another 15 years of the hot dog king. Gotta appreciate these places while they're still here. Good glizzy?
Very good glizzy. Nico, we've got Rosario's, one of my favorite little hidden gems in Astoria because it looks like an Italian deli from the outside, but on the inside, some of the best pizza in the city.
One of the best in the business.
Looks like a deli, smells like a deli.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
Business has been around since 1986. I was down the block, I had a little shop, walked away from it. This opened up at the beginning of 2001. Nice size store, people could come in, have pizza. We have also some groceries, all Italian stuff.
What's your favorite thing about running this store?
I like food. I like talking to people. People say, "Oh, are you going to retire?" I said, "No, I'm not going to retire because I like to come here."
Now, what makes your pizza different than other spots?
My pizza is made with fresh mozzarella, which we make ourselves. The sauce we definitely cook. If you actually have a batch, we just made it.
Really good.
The American style is a lot of cheese. I personally want to be able to taste the sauce, the dough, and the cheese.
Which cheese is this?
There's a blend of pecorino here, some grana.
How many minutes does it cook for?
About 7 minutes. This is a traditional pie.
Oh, thank you so much. These look fantastic. I mean, Nico, we just saw the whole process, how they make their own mozzarella here.
How you pronounce mozzarella?
Oh yeah, I tried to get Italian there. The sauce made in-house. I mean, Rosario is just a legend. I think his pizza is so distinctive looking that if you were at an event, you would know this was a Rosario slice.
This one I feel like is super distinct. Also, there's not many pizza places that have the owner's face on the box.
Yeah, exactly. His face is also on t-shirts. A little Easter egg, if you were watching my Bronx Pizza video, Greg, my co-host, was wearing a Rosario shirt in that one. It would make for an amazing gift. This is definitely one of the better slices in New York. It's just the perfect balance of cheese to sauce.
So good.
I think in general, Queens does not get a good enough reputation for their pizza. They have so many amazing spots. I think
They really do.
Brooklyn and the city get way more attention.
It's also affordable. Less than $20 for an 18-inch pie.
Think about how many different shops this is in one. It's an Italian grocery store. It's a deli where you can get sandwiches and a pizza shop on top of that. They also have amazing drinks from Italy, like the Sicily Blood Orange Soda. I recommend you pair it with that. I know it's New York pizza, it's tough to rank, but you know, where does this sit for you?
Definitely top 10.
I gotta agree.
It's all about what you're in the mood for. But I'm always in the mood for this now.
A lot of our legends today, they may be up there in years, but they don't want to slow down. Like, this is their life's passion. This is what they do. It's what they've been doing forever.
No signs of slowing down. No signs of slowing down. I only found out about this spot 6 or 7 months ago, so unfortunately,
they didn't make it into my book, keeps me up at night because it definitely is in my top 100.
Part two.
Part 2, but yeah, this place is legendary.
Come for the pizza, stay for the t-shirt. All right. Nico, we're at Meisel's Chocolate in Midtown, and you could just blink and walk past this place, but that would be a big mistake, right?
That would be a huge mistake. The chocolate here, amazing. The curation, incredible. But the person who owns this shop, Camilla Meisel, is just a one-of-a-kind, such a sweetheart, knows her Can I curse?
Yes, you can curse.
She knows her stuff. The community loves her, and she loves the community back. Here we are.
All right, this reminds me of the chocolate shop from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where he goes and he buys the bar.
She decorates it every holiday. She's set up for Halloween. She takes a lot of pride in her decorating.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, pleasure. I came to New York in the beginning of 1980. We escaped from Poland, and 2 days later the martial law started, so the borders were closed, no communication with anybody. I came to Manhattan. The craziness, every corner, yelling, people screaming, doing stuff. I stood up in a moment and I just said to myself, that's it. This is my city. I took over the shop in 1990. I'm from Europe, I'm from Poland. Everybody were cooking and baking. So I was watching this when I was a little girl. I have a photographic memory and it became a passion basically. During the COVID, no customers, I was alone in the shop. Yeah, I got in trouble with the landlord and I have difficulties to pay. A lot of people helped me. Brandon from Humans of New York opened for me the GoFundMe page. Also, Nico, New York, he advertised me. Joel Gergilo from NBC, they put me on the programs. This is such a deep and huge appreciation for people because people help me to continue and to stay over here.
So clearly you get a lot of visitors, right?
Yes, I do, and people really knows me. It's such a nice feeling. I love people, I love the connection with people, and it's the most important thing.
I'm curious, the chocolate, how much of this is baked in-house?
I bake all of my cookies. The truffles, I pay somebody else to do it for me, okay, because I don't have enough space. My favorite, dark chocolate pecans, hazelnuts, almonds, and then licorice. I have over 100 different types of licorice. All of the licorice are different shapes. Each shape is going to taste different. You divide by unsalted and salted. I give you the canal houses. I like this one very much. And then I give you the herbal one. Couple of this one. This is spicy and slightly salted, okay?
Okay.
I give you some menthol licorice from Switzerland. Okay, here you go. And let me give you some chocolate. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just got 5-10 pounds of candy. And Nico, what an amazing woman.
Best, right?
Now we're gonna try some of these sweets on 6.5 Ave, New York's only hidden street. What's crazy is people come from all over the world for her licorice. She has licorice from so many different countries in there. I was dying to try some of her homemade chocolate. She just gave us a little bit of everything. I've never tried her chocolate.
So good.
It's really a lost art what she's doing in there because New York has plenty of candy stores, but how many of them are you gonna have the owner just sitting there and chatting with you?
There really aren't a lot of places like that in New York. She has stuff that you can't find anywhere else.
It's on the most unassuming street too. If she was closer to Times Square, I don't think she would have had any of those problems that she had. And you actually helped set up the GoFundMe.
We raised a good amount of money for her and she's very grateful. We're very grateful for her.
We all should be. That's like a true New York icon right there. I always love immigrant stories like that. Actually, it reminds me of my own mom. My mom's from Ukraine, so I know exactly what it was like. People who had to leave during the Cold War and restart their lives, and some of them have started tremendous businesses. She's just a prime example. Many of you are staying in Midtown Manhattan. If you walk in there, I promise you're gonna buy something. I promise you will find something unique, interesting, and tasty.
Go to Meisel's.
We've got Anthony and Son Panini Shop. This is a staple here in Williamsburg, and there's just tons of local characters here, right?
A good amount of the characters that you might recognize from my page came from Anthony and Son's Panini Shop. Irma, Charlie the Wolf, Big Joe Gambino, Mario, some really great Italian Americans.
All right, let's find some characters in there. That is a lot of sandwiches, a lot of paninis. I want to order the whole place.
That's an Italian shirt, sir. You can tell I'm an Italian place. I'm Antonio Curcio and I own Anthony and Son Panini Shop. I came here as a tourist in 1988. 5 years later, I started Anthony and Son. It was a little bit fruit store, a little bit at a time. We went to grocery, then we went to organic. We started making panini, and that's what we do today. My personal favorite is the FT&Y.
Fine, I'll do Godfather, I'll do FDNY.
Okay. So first you do the garlic bread, then we do a little bit vodka sauce. We do chicken cutlet, fresh mozzarella, melted the mozzarella a little bit. You want spicy or sweet? Spicy. And that's the famous sandwich FDNY.
Pretty simple.
But it's the best. So we do a little bit oregano, a little bit garlic, a little bit crushed pepper, and a little bit olive oil. I slice one after another.
How many different types of meat is this?
That's 6 different Italian cutlets. That's the Godfather. Now I put a fresh mozzarella, and you say you want spicy pepper, a little bit arugula. We're not done yet. Mortadella, prosciutto, and that's the last thing. That's the Godfather.
It's amazing how this used to be like an Italian store. They got sauces, they had everything you would need. Oh, we got plenty to eat right now. We got so much to eat. That guy knows what he's doing. I could just tell instantly. Nico opted for the healthy. I opted for the FDNY, the chicken cutlet, the mutts, the vodka sauce. So how many of these sandwiches have you had in your life?
A lot. I do eat here quite a bit.
Now that's a chicken cutlet. I mean, sure, you can find chicken cutlets all over the city, but with garlic bread, this amount of mutts and the vodka sauce.
They
ooh.
make the mozzarella here, they make the garlic bread here.
Like this is standing out big time. Just one of these will put you to sleep. That's it.
I know, you can't eat the whole thing.
If I do, I gotta go take a nap like right now. I'm telling you, vodka sauce on a sandwich is my kryptonite, man. I could never avoid it. So you've known this family for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony's a character,
Yep.
100%. I love guys like that, and they're sort of like the staples that can hold a neighborhood together, right?
Oh, for sure. You know, you have like Emily's Pork Store down the block. You have Carmine's. You have Model T Meats. It's still got that Italian old school charm.
Yeah, it's true. Spots like this are tough to come by. There are famous delis in New York still, but there's less and less of them. And then when you look at this quality, you know, that list goes even lower. There's gotta be like top 10 sandwiches I've ever had in New York.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah, it's the kind of spot where I could see like transplants, little hipsters coming in, but old school people coming in as well.
That's exactly what it is.
Perfect balance.
The reason why you know it's good is because all of the city workers come here. Firefighters, cops, garbage men, they all come to Anthony and Sons. That's how you know a place is good.
Now, if you enjoy watching this channel, you probably like to know where to go in New York and who to support. Well, Nico has a new book called New York Nico's Guide to NYC.
Boom, there it is. A lifetime in the making. 100 of some of my favorite spots in New York. Whether that's food related or retail, it's all in here. It's great for tourists and locals alike. If you're a local, a lot of these spots, maybe you've had their food before, but you don't know the amazing backstory. So Brooklyn, you got a map of Brooklyn. All my spots are highlighted on there. And then boom, Anthony and Sons. Photos, history, tips. That's the FDNY that John just ate. And that's my dog, Toby. The book is just full of some of my favorite places in New York that I think everybody should experience.
I've covered a lot, but not all the places in that book, so I'm gonna personally buy it and I'm going to use it in future videos. If you'd like to pre-order, depending when you watch, or order it, because it's coming out shortly, QR code here, link down in the description. Great stocking stuffer for Christmas as well. Nico, we're at Lily's Baked Goods, and this is an absolute institution in Harlem, right?
So yeah, Lily's has been around since 1965. He's been making baked goods for that long. And he's, I believe, in his early to mid 80s, and he's still working every day. Not a lot of people like that anymore.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Let's check this out.
My name is Alvin Lee Smalls. I'm 82 years old.
Hi, my name is Kellen Tiller Smalls, and I am partner here at Lily's Baked Goods.
Lily, can you tell us about the history of first how you got into baking pergola?
Well, I found this recipe in the newspaper about 60 years ago, and with the little experience I had, I played with it around and do this, change that. And for my blessing, it came out this way.
How long have you been in this location here in Harlem?
This location, 25 years.
In the beginning, there were a number of different struggles that had to do with funding. Black businesses couldn't get funded. So we've endured that. Then we endured a lot of change that happened during COVID, where we were providing door-to-door service, straight from the store, straight to your door. We are a destination on many of the tourist list of things to do and get to. We have a lot of neighborhood people. We have a lot of elderly people who've been with us for a very long time. We have an awful lot of Jewish patrons here that tell us that it's better than their bubbies. Alvin has created a dessert that fits in your hand, and that many people who never knew what it was before now know what it is.
Well, everybody should have at least one. It's the best. Fresh, good ingredients. For 60 years, I used the same brand of flour. I use pure apricot, pure raspberry.
Everything's at a premium. It's a premium dessert.
All right, we got some goodies from Lily. You know, every time I go there, I get a smile on my face.
Great people, great baked goods.
You know, Lily does his hamantash and his rugula different than your average Jewish bakery. I'm Jewish, you're Jewish. I have to say, he has elevated the game with his style. Probably some of the best arugula I've ever had in my entire life.
His is always moist, it always tastes fresh.
Little raisin baked inside here, chocolate cream on top, like little sugar crystals baked in there.
Lily really knows what he's doing.
He's been baking since the mid-60s. He's been doing arugula since the 80s. I mean, to survive so many years in any location in New York, you have to be top-notch. New Yorkers are a picky bunch.
Yeah, he has a very, very devoted following. That's what gives a lot of these businesses their staying power, loyal customers.
That's how you stay alive in New York. The hamantash and the arugula.
The hamantash is great, but the arugula, there's like nothing better than the arugula.
Yeah. Lily is one of the last commercial bakers in New York making arugula. It's unique, it's different, you owe it to yourself to give them a try. In this video, I'll be rating the best delis in the pastrami capital of the world, New York City, including a shop that sells 15,000 pounds of pastrami in a single week. But before that, my local guide Greg and I are heading to a place that Anthony Bourdain called the iconic New York meal. And that would be Pastrami Queen. And this is by far the smallest deli on the video. Not many tables, but worth the wait.
It smells so good in here. I'm just looking at that big slab of pastrami there, all that bark on the outside.
Oh wow. This is an icon of the New York culinary scene.
Just layered, piled up like that.
The pastrami is brine, seasoned, dried, and smoked, and then heated and steamed for 24 hours to achieve peak moisture and tenderness.
Nice little bit of fat there, not overwhelming. A little bit of that bark, which I like. I'm just really hungry. I'm so excited to dive into this.
We've been fasting all day. You know what I like about this pastrami? It's not too lean, it's not too fat, it's somewhere in the middle.
I agree there. That caraway seed and the rye bread really adds another layer of flavor here.
Man, this thing's not gonna last long.
Now I'm curious with the mustard.
I think the mustard elevates it.
The mustard does add that bit of saltiness and brininess to it.
It's amazing that a spot like this flies a little bit under the radar, at least by tourists to New York, where you've got the heavyweights like Katz's and Second Ave Deli. Pastrami Queen, a little sleeper.
It is. I think it's also because of the location. Like, not a lot of tourists coming up to the Upper East Side,
That's fair. I mention this every time we bring up Anthony Bourdain, but he loved this spot. And he always said that this is the one thing New York City does better than any other place on earth. Pastrami sandwich and deli sandwich. One thing you're guaranteed in any deli are the free pickles. Got the half sours here. I never had half sour pickles until I started going to the New York Jewish delis. This is more commonly what you see, standard American pickle.
Out of these two, I do prefer actually the half sour because it tastes a little bit fresher. It tastes more like cucumber. It doesn't overwhelm on the tanginess. I think also when you're eating something heavy and greasy like this, you do need something light to kind of cut through the richness of it.
Yeah. One thing you absolutely must order when you come to a New York Jewish deli, Dr. Brown's celery. This is the classic. If Sprite and ginger ale had a baby. Time for the first ranking of the day. Pastrami Queen. Greg, what do you got?
It's a thin slice pastrami. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the thin slice all the time, depending on how it is. It was good. A nice flavor with the spices on there, with the bark. It was a little oily. The bread was fantastic. Overall, I say I give it a 7.4.
Interesting. Okay. I think that is a great deli sandwich, but I think it could have been a little juicier. I think there could have been a little bit more flavor. I would definitely go back. I'm gonna go with a 7.3. We see eye to eye on this.
Pastrami Queen starts us off at a solid 7.35. With our next stop, a classic on the New York deli scene. Will we get our first contender of the day?
This is Second Ave Deli, and we are not even on Second Ave. This is the first time that both Greg and I will dine here.
Excited.
Oh, this is the originals right here. This is showing like the old Second Ave Yiddish theater district.
This screams just like old surly New York,
So the first thing I notice is there's no music playing, people just enjoying their food. This place feels like a classic even though it opened here in 2007. And there's a bit of a sad story. The original owner, Abe Liebewall, was murdered in 1996, and that case is still unsolved.
Wow.
But they're keeping the tradition alive now in Midtown East. Who said a pastrami spot isn't healthy, okay? We got the house salad here, some pickles, some vegetables.
I feel healthy already just looking at it.
Thank you. Okay, this definitely looks different than a pastrami queen.
I see a lot more fat. Yeah. Not too much, but like I see it more.
And also it's really thinly sliced.
It is.
And you can see a good amount of that pastrami bark hanging out too. First time you, first time me.
Excited.
Let's pop that cherry. Yeah. I like what the menu said. You don't need this thing lean. Nice and fatty for me. So juicy, so many flavors. Ooh.
Even though it's fatty, it doesn't feel so heavy. We're worried this is gonna fall apart as we eat it. Somehow it's like the structural integrity of this is much better than I thought it would be.
This isn't a word I've typically used for pastrami, but it's buttery.
I think they don't overdo it on the spice. I really taste the flavor of the meat itself here.
I'm gonna put mustard on before I finish this thing. It definitely balances out the flavors better, yeah. I'm feeling such a sense of guilt right now for never having come here before.
Hey, better late than never, right?
That's true.
Better late than never.
It just keeps getting better with every bite.
Just that little bit of brine, not too much, very fresh.
Yeah, well, it's good to have something acidic like this, counter the saltiness of the pastrami. I think this is what you come to New York for an old school spot like this.
It kind of reminds me of like a steakhouse vibe a little bit.
And you do have all the celebrities on the walls. We got Dustin Hoffman here, just overlooking us. I'm walking here. Tell us what movie that's from if you know.
I'm walking here. I'm walking here.
Need some walking after this. Spot number 3 is walking distance from here, which is great.
Any extra steps you can get.
While pastrami is one of the icons of New York, street food is really one of the city's best kept secrets, and Greg runs the best street food tour in New York. I have had viewers tell me it was the highlight of their trip. I'm gonna put a QR code here. If you wanna book it, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'd love to have you on the tour. Come join me. You know, usually you see black and white cookies, right? These are blue and white cookies. It kind of reminds me of, for all the Seinfeld fans, remember when Jerry's eating the black and white cookie? Very pleasant surprise.
I think they have a whole bake section here too.
Are you a Yankee fan?
Yes.
You want to see something fantastic?
Sure.
Remember that?
Oh, this is terrible.
You're trolling us.
You're trolling us?
Just listen to that crack. You'll never hear that again.
This is torture.
Listen to
salt
that.
in the wound
Listen to
here.
the crack.
Thanks for rubbing salt in the wound. Appreciate it. Were you a Mets fan?
Dodger.
Dodger. Okay.
Dodger
Fair
fan.
enough. Congratulations.
All right, you win this one. Time for the rankings. This one's tough. This one's really tough. I thought that the meat was tender, buttery, good peppery flavor. One of the best pastrami sandwiches I've ever had. I'm gonna go 8.2.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, I like the fatty bits that came off. The meat itself was good quality. Bread was solid. I'm gonna go 8.0.
All right, we're pretty close. We have been pretty close so far.
Yeah.
Second half deli came in with a solid 8.1, but will that score be enough to keep up with some fierce pastrami contenders? Our next stop takes us to a deli that's probably the least known on the list, but don't let that fool you.
Sarge's Deli, open since 1964. This is a local favorite. Sarge's has a great story. It was opened by a retired New York City police sergeant, hence the name Sarge's, and his name just happened to be Abe Katz. No relation to Katz Deli.
Mine is blown.
Of all the contenders in today's video, I think Sarge's has the largest menu. It's pretty much like a diner menu.
It does have a diner vibe to it, too.
Wow.
Ooh. Thank you. The bread looks excellent.
Definitely see some of the bark. Maybe not as much bark as we saw at Second Ave.
And the color is more pink here is what I noticed. That's one thing is the color difference. Yeah, I do see like more of the fat. It's nice layers of fat and lean meat here.
I think this could be the most thinly sliced we've had of the day. Well, I'm excited for this first bite. Ready to go to work. What a dirty business we have. Really juicy.
That's what stood out to me right away.
Yeah.
The juiciness.
The flavors are pretty subtle.
The bread is fantastic on this. And the caraway seeds, it really complements it.
Brown deli mustard. It just melts in your mouth.
Very impressed how juicy it is.
You know, they have a t-shirt outside that says New York's best kept secret, and I kind of have to agree with that in some ways.
It's just got that like very welcoming, relaxed vibe.
What's also incredible about all the spots we're going to today, Sarge's is the newest, 1964. Places like this can stay around as customers are loyal. Kind of happy we didn't start here. This would have set the bar very high. The bread is about as good as the pastrami, which you never think you would say at a deli, but it's actually true. I was just admiring how much I was enjoying this. It's such a simple sandwich. Bread, pastrami, mustard. That's it. We just need a little nap before the next spot. This food's putting us to sleep. All right, Greg.
Yeah.
That was interesting. What do you got?
I gotta say right away, I was very impressed with Sarge's. The bread really stood out to me. They get the bread from Orwash's, a local bakery, so it really tastes homemade. It was very juicy, kind of crumbly, like you can see the juices just coming out of the meat. I'm gonna give it 8.7.
Okay. I think that's maybe the best pastrami sandwich I've ever had. Juicy as all heck. I'm going a little higher. I'm going 9.1.
Sarge's storms into the lead with an impressive 8.9. Could this unexpected contender actually take the crown? With just one stop left, a name that's practically synonymous with New York and pastrami awaits.
We've got Katz's Deli, New York's oldest deli, open since 1888, been here since 1917. And this is the first time I have not seen a line out the door. This is a New York rite of passage, waiting online to get your pastrami sliced at Katz's. Greg and I made a bold decision. Yeah. We are having the Katz IPA and Ale.
Cheers to the last stop and one of the most famous sandwiches in the world.
Now you may see this slogan all around, send the salami to your boy in the army, or you look at the walls and there's all these people holding these like thick sausages. It's because during World War II, the owner had 3 sons in the armed forces, and that's where that slogan started. Often imitated, never duplicated. You look at a Katz pastrami sandwich, and I think you can instantly tell where it comes from.
Absolutely. The first thing that jumps out at you right away is how thickly sliced the meat is. They hand slice it to order.
It feels like a workout right now. We're gonna need a workout after today. That's a different story. Also something unique versus all the other spots. They put the mustard on for you, and they put quite a bit.
Even the way they slice it up and like almost stack it. Look at that. It's almost like a work of art.
This was made for social media before social media even existed. 1888. I'm not necessarily docking them for this, although maybe I am. It's so much meat that this bread can barely hold it together. Like, I'm afraid this is about to fall apart. Now, we never really talked about like what pastrami is. It's the beef navel. It has to be cured in salt water brine for 3 weeks, then rubbed, then smoked, then boiled, then steamed, and then finally carved right in front of you. This masterpiece takes a lot of time. The final contender for best pastrami in New York.
We had to end here with the most famous and the most unique, I would say.
Is yours holding up?
Yeah, I think this one's like very structurally intact. I think more than any other spot, the bark really shows.
Here we go. Wow. First words from me, it is so thick. Oof. It is by far the thickest piece of pastrami, and there is no contest versus the other ones. I also think it has the smokiest flavor.
I would say so too. I think it has the boldest spice mix to it.
They have a style and they are not gonna move away from it.
No. And it works.
The vibe here, it's very touristy. This is by far the most polarizing place I have ever seen in New York. It seems like people either love this place or love to hate this place. But I need some more bites to really think about the ranking here.
I would say not really the best bread on here. Like the mustard is actually seeping through the bread a bit. But I don't think you're really coming here for the bread. You're really coming here for the meat.
And now your thing's falling apart a little bit, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's messy, but I'm not complaining about it. Not that this affects the pastrami rating at all, but this lager is excellent. I think I like the beer as much as the pastrami. I've actually never been here for dinner before. Now you've come here late when there was still 24 hours.
Yeah, like 3 in the morning. That's a whole different vibe here. It's like the after drinking crowd.
Party vibe.
Yeah.
I will say the meat's a little bit tougher in some areas to chew.
There's less fat here. I'm not sure if it's like you can ask for a fattier cut.
Yeah.
It is a little tougher.
Do you think this is a tourist rite of passage?
Absolutely. Probably the most famous sandwich in the whole city and one of in the whole world. I mean, you see this, you know it's a cat sandwich.
I think they have the record for most celebrity pictures. I can't think of a place that has more. They must have 1,000.
What I do love is it still has that very old school feel to it.
Yeah.
It's very frozen in time. It brings you back to old school New York.
But I think everyone should probably try it at least once in their life. Moment of truth, Greg. Here are my thoughts. I have been here before, as has just about every other New Yorker, and I've always had a hit or miss experience. I really enjoyed the taste. I like the smokiness. I like how thick the pastrami was. There was just something about the texture today. It just didn't have that crumbliness, is that a word?
Yeah.
It didn't have that crumbliness that I would want out of my winner, and it definitely didn't have the juiciness of Sarge's. So I'm gonna give Katz's a 7.9.
I've been to Katz's many times. I love the flavor. They have probably the boldest spice mixture, spice blend of any pastrami we had today, but it was not as moist as I'm used to. And usually the meat falls apart a lot, but here it was the bread that was falling apart tonight a lot, which I got to dock it on the bread too. I've had experience here that I would normally give maybe a 9.2. Tonight, I give it 8.1. Sarge's winner for me tonight. It was so juicy. The bread was excellent. It really had the whole package tonight.
The underdog has won.
Here's the final tally. Pastrami Queen takes 4th with a 7.35. Katz's lands in 3rd at 8.0. Second Ave Deli claims the silver with an 8.1, and Sarge's Deli pulls off the stunning upset, coming out on top with an 8.9. NYC has world-class Michelin restaurants, and because their food is the best in the world, it's also the most expensive. Most people could never afford to eat a Michelin-listed meal, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. I found a way to eat Michelin-quality food on a budget, and we'll show you a handful of places that you won't believe exist. But there's a twist. We're going to rate one dish at each restaurant on how surprising and unique it was, and at the end of the video, we'll average out the scores and crown a winner. First thing you need to know is how to find them. On the Michelin Guide website, search your city, hit distinction to see the options. You probably know about the 1, 2, and 3 stars, but those are too expensive. The really special places we're visiting today are the Bib Gourmands. They have the same insane quality as the stars, but nowhere near the cost. Looks like we've made it to our first place.
We're at Potluck Club on the outskirts of Chinatown, and the Michelin Guide says some good stuff. Christie Street wins big with his high-energy Chinese restaurant that is always down to have a good time. The stylish room leans on a Hong Kong cinema motif with posters and stills from famous flicks. This place already looks like a vibe. I feel like we're about to go on a date to a movie theater. Corey, take us through this place.
Welcome to Potluck Club. Right when you get in, we wanted you to kind of be immersed in our culture. This is our host stand. Telephone booths look like this in Chinatown, so we kind of replicated that. This is our movie feature wall. Growing up as kids, we didn't really go to Hong Kong till we were kind of adults. So everything we learned about our culture was through movies. This is actually my favorite. This is called the God of Cookery. It kind of comes into play here because we do have a restaurant. Open kitchen. We wanted people to be able to see how everything gets made. And then we do have a super secret Easter egg in this restaurant.
Okay.
This is the hidden people.
You know what? I'm not gonna tell you what I just saw. You have to come to the restaurant to see for yourself.
I've started this with 4 of my other friends, all born and raised in Chinatown. Chef Zan Chen, he's been working in kitchens all his life. He's worked in Italian kitchens, French kitchens, Mediterranean kitchens, but never Chinese food. Our grandparents, our parents, and even like the OGs from the community, in the beginning they were like, this is not Chinese food, guys. Our menu is a little bit shorter compared to like a Chinese menu that literally has like 250 items. It's just a little bit different, we want to represent kids that grew up in Chinatown in the 80s and 90s and who we are now.
I mean, I see everything you said through the decorations, but what about through the food?
We say this is Cantonese American food, but through the lens of Chef Zan, who was influenced by almost every culture in this melting pot of the city, right? And that's what he kind of puts on the table.
What are your favorite things on the menu? What are the best sellers?
My favorite thing on the menu, chicken and biscuits. It's such an American item, and Chef did it with Cantonese flavor, so that's what I truly love about it. Also, an absolute hitter on the menu is the oyster mushroom rice rolls with steak.
Right now I'm making the jellyfish tiger salad, long cut scallion, Chinese celery, cilantro. This is just marinated jellyfish. We're putting a little bit of lemon zest into this, and then this is more of the vinaigrette that we use to marinate. So it's the sesame seeds. Traditionally, these rice noodle rolls are with like peanut butter sauce and fish balls. I thought it would be fun to instead use this as the beef chow fun base. We'll add a little bit of steak. This is some roasted oyster mushrooms and some asparagus. Dressed it with a little bit of oyster sauce and a little bit of sweet soy sauce. Garlic chives that we're gonna add in towards the end. Toss, toss, toss to incorporate. All right.
They call this place Potluck Club, and I feel like that's exactly what we have in front of us right now.
And I'm ready to go.
I have the pork pot sticker. She has the vegetarian. You can see the chili sauce coming out. This thing's packed with flavor.
I could go vegetarian. You give me this every day.
This is one of the more traditional things on the menu. I want to try the jellyfish tiger salad. I've never tried jellyfish. You?
This is my first time, so I'm super excited.
All right, let's rock on this.
I can't even describe it, but I love it.
I wasn't sure what to expect with the jellyfish. They cover it with so many different sauces that something that's normally a bit bland can actually pack a bit of a punch. I didn't even know that was a delicacy, to be honest with you, before I came here.
Yeah, you have to try it.
We have a contender for surprise dish of the restaurant. Chicken and biscuits, not on my bingo card for a Cantonese restaurant. It's double fried. And we got the biscuit, we got the pickled jalapeno on top. You're salivating.
I'm excited.
That is so crispy.
It's so crispy outside, but it's still super juicy inside.
I need to know what this biscuit tastes like with a little bit of the plum jam. Scallion biscuit, wow.
I need this for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving would be way less boring with some scallion biscuits and chili plum jam. You're loving that jam there. Tell us what a business like this means to you as an immigrant and seeing like the changes in Mexican food in the US.
Well, maybe I was too hard on Mexican food in the US. I was very like negative about it. Like, this is not Mexican, we don't do it like this. But then after hearing his story, it makes me realize that it's part of the food like to evolve because it's getting mixed with another culture. So it makes me look at it in a different perspective.
That's what you come to a restaurant like this for. You come to try something different. And so far, this has been very tasty.
Amazing.
All right, tiger shrimp with candied walnuts.
Oh, smell it.
Ah, that's nice.
Oh, it smells so nice. And it tastes even better.
That is the most interesting shrimp I've had in a really long time. Calabrian chili oil. A lot of people like to put that on pizza. Seeing that fusion here. Rice roll noodles, and I have a little steak on top. This is like the perfect little piece.
It was. Oh my goodness.
Nice spongy texture.
Oh my God.
Lots of flavor.
The steak.
The steak isn't even standard. That's just like an addition they gave us, but the rice roll noodle stands by itself. All right, crispy drunken chicken. Look how tender this is.
Oh my God. It's one of the most delicious chicken I ever had.
I think they've elevated the game a little bit. I love this. Come with a big group and order a little bit of everything.
I'm still processing what just happened.
You heard the word Michelin a lot of times, and you think it's some stuffy place where you gotta dress up, and here people are casual, they're just hanging out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I can be just myself, love it.
The surprise dish of the restaurant is gonna be the fried chicken with biscuit, because that's not something that I saw coming from a Cantonese restaurant.
I know you might be like, it's just fried chicken. No, you have to try that fried chicken.
1 to a 10, what are you going with?
10, I loved it.
I'm gonna go with 9.2. That's gonna be tough to beat.
Adriana joined me on a short walk over to 8282, perhaps the trendiest Michelin spot in the video.
Let's see what Michelin has to say. There's a first time for everything at this rambunctious little restaurant on the Lower East Side. The team works with a solid foundation of Korean flavors, and from there, springboards it into uncharted waters. Creative, bold dishes, all of which beg to be shared, run up and down this menu. The name 828 also refers to Korea's country code, +82.
Hi, my name is Ji-young Kim. I'm the co-owner of 8282.
Tell us the story of how this restaurant came to be.
Yeah, so during COVID, my boyfriend at the time, now husband, had a Japanese sushi restaurant in East Village that closed, unfortunately. And we're both Korean, and this was a time when Squid Games was very popular with all of the Korean culture. I told him, hey, like, New York is ready for a modern Korean food that doesn't have to be fine dining.
What's the concept behind the food here?
If our food is evoking a certain memory from you, whether you are or you aren't Korean, we did our job right. And chef is French trained, also he loves Peruvian food. Obviously we're at a Japanese restaurant, so a lot of the flavors come from what New Yorkers would recognize, right? Kind of a global palette.
What are some of the most popular dishes on the menu?
I would say our Korean KFC. We have pickled red peppers, that's spicy, a little bit acidic. Our 8282 steak, we use hanger steak that's marinated, obviously cooked to perfection, and then we have different sides, a sweet potato puree and a Brussels sprout. And then the takgalbi kimchi bob, it has kimchi, it has gochujang. It's a very flavorful dish. A lot of Koreans, when they're visiting New York, this is kind of like they're getting their fix.
Thank you, cheers.
Thank you. This is kind of a trending rice cake with a lot of cheese because Koreans love cheese. But it's not a traditional tteokbokki, right?
I'm excited.
Look at that rice cake. Looks like pasta a little bit, no? Like penne, he said. Right?
Spanish, that sounds so wrong.
Don't Google Translate that.
I'm an adult.
It's like just hot enough, just spicy enough.
And cheesy. Spicy. It's so good. I love the sauce.
Soy sauce, the first thing that hits me, man. What a flavor.
And the chicken is super tender.
I can see why this is a bestseller here.
This is our soy marinated Korean style steak.
Oh, my mouth is watering already.
Down the hatch. I'm actually at a loss for words right now. I like what they say on their t-shirts. You're not your typical Korean. Like, that is such an amazing steak right there.
I'm enjoying every bite.
This is only $28. That's a heck of a value.
This is our takgalbi kimchi bob. There's a bed of kimchi rice, gochujang marinated chicken, scallions, seaweed crumbs, pearl leaves, a bed of mozzarella cheese, and voila. Enjoy!
Thank you. I have not had a dish today that I have not loved here. It's hard with marinated chicken and kimchi rice to go wrong, and the mozzarella cheese baked in. Very good combo.
Love it.
What's it like running a restaurant with your husband?
How is it like filming with your wife?
We don't do it very often, but when we do it, I do like to remind everybody that if you like New York City content, she has an amazing store of artwork dedicated to New York City. I'm gonna put a QR code to it right here somewhere. Check out her store, perfect for Christmas gifts. And now back to you.
No, it's great. It's tight. It's tight. Cool.
What kind of vibe would you say 8282 is?
I think everyone fits here, and that's something I like about these places that you are showing. Like, you can be yourself and come and enjoy these Michelin places.
I think it should be the ultimate spot to go to before going out in the Lower East Side or Lower Manhattan. Start a fun night here. Uh-oh. Soju with beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty simple.
Alright, this is a Korean roll. If you don't drink this in one gulp, it's actually bad sex, but I'm gonna say bad luck.
You can say bad sex.
Bad sex. For 5 years.
Cheers.
Second baby.
Oh man. I'm gonna regret that one tomorrow. I think in all my years of making YouTube videos, I have never had an owner just sit and drink with us for 2 hours like that. It is time for the surprise dish of the restaurant. What do you got?
Of course, the steak.
8282 steak. What are you giving it 1 to 10?
11.
Oh!
That's awesome, guys.
I don't even know if that's legal. We don't have rules with this thing. Actually, for the value, 9.5. That's gonna be tough to beat today.
Well, the bar is set pretty high with 2 spots ranking over 9 on the surprise dish score. Can this next place keep up?
Hey, we're at Agi's Counter in Crown Heights. Let's see what Michelin had to say about this. You have room for one more dish, right? Chef Jeremy Salomon takes inspiration and the restaurant's name from his Hungarian grandmother for a delightfully casual but fine-tuned effort. Hey, what are you doing with my camera guy? Just kidding, everyone. This is my twin brother, Alan. He's gonna be making a little cameo at Agi's. Also, check out his YouTube channel. It just started one.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Solomon, and I'm the owner of Agi's Counter. My restaurant's inspired by Hungarian and Eastern European cuisine. My grandmother, who's Agi, is from Budapest, and she moved to Queens, New York in 1956, and she's still alive today. Our restaurant is an all-day diner. We're by no means a traditional or authentic Hungarian restaurant. We're inspired by Eastern European cuisines. It's really through the lens of a second-generation American Hungarian. The tuna melt is not Hungarian, although we get asked that a lot. It goes on our house-made potato Pullman bread. We shred the tuna and it gets mixed with pickled peppers and celery and mayo, served with a really delicious mustard and the Agi's Counter slaw. The caraway Caesar is one of my favorites. It's made with bitter leaves such as radicchio, finished with a Caesar dressing that's loaded with anchovy and toasted crushed caraway, and finished with grana padano cheese. And the chicken liver mousse, yeah. My grandmother used to make it with Philadelphia cream cheese, so I'm doing the same thing here. Lots of onions, port wine, and it's finished with a cherry agrodolce.
We continue the Michelin quest with Adriana, and you are a huge fan of cafes. What do you think of the vibe here?
Oh, it's really cozy. All the vibe here is amazing.
Adriana said that she wanted the tuna melt.
I'm so excited.
Now this is a confit tuna melt, so it was grilled in its own fat. I think you have this expectation of what a tuna melt should taste like at a diner, and this is just elevating it way higher.
I love the perfect crunchiness of the bread, and it's super soft in the middle and delicious. Thank you.
I have not seen a chef this excited about a salad on the menu in a really long time. Oh, it smells great. It's definitely not boring, I'll tell you that.
From the presentation to the taste, it's super unique.
Have you ever heard of a restaurant opened after somebody's grandma? It's like one of the sweetest things I've ever heard. And I feel very connected to it because his grandmother was a Holocaust survivor from Hungary. My grandmother was a Holocaust survivor from Hungary as well. And I know how important food is to the culture. Speaking of the culture, he said that this dish right here, the chicken liver mousse, was directly inspired by his grandma. Wow. It hits a lot of different sweet and savory notes, and it's like almost on a French toast. I didn't think I would like this, but I actually do. Green deviled eggs with hot sauce and anchovy on top. It's good. It's a very interesting mix. Eating it with the fish, it's an interesting blend. I'm liking it. He's trying to steal my channel again. Very curious about this. Hot sauce, the egg, the anchovy, it all works. He's right. This is a little appetizer that packs a serious punch. It's that time. We're gonna rank the surprise dish of the meal. What are you going for here?
I'm gonna give it tuna melt. It's one of my favorite things to get. So I'm definitely gonna give him a 9.
I'm gonna give it 8.2. A place like Augie's, this is a neighborhood staple. This just shows you what's possible with the gourmand bibs and why you have to visit these restaurants.
We got a new co-host, Ben from the Bing Buzz, and a new country, our neighbors up north.
We're at Mile End in Brooklyn. This is what the Michelin Guide said. Borum Hill's most bodacious deli serves up killer smoked meats among other treats whose caloric content rivals a week's worth of eating. This is Montreal Jewish fare, the stuff comfort food dreams are made of. I'm getting hungry just hearing that. Let's get in there. Getting those old school Jewish deli vibes already.
Very cool, very Canadian.
Keyword Canadian. We'll do the Montreal smoked meat for sure, the large one, a Reuben, the General Tso poutine. We'll also do the potato latkes.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Thank you. Now, for those who aren't familiar with what Montreal smoked meat is made from the whole entire brisket fatty and lean part. They even smoke it in-house for about 8 hours. Dude, I don't even know where to begin with this.
To warm up our jaws.
All right, here we go. Nice smoky flavor, like
it's neater than expected. The salt level is really good, actually.
it's only been a bite, but I'm impressed how this thing's holding together. Yours, on the other hand, I don't know. You can just dunk that in mustard, though.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Look at this power play move here.
It's a lot more toned down compared to a New York deli sandwich. Like if I eat at a Cat's Deli sandwich, I need a day to recover.
Oh yes, we've got the Reuben, we've got corned beef with sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, Russian dressing, stacked between pumpernickel bread.
Presentation on point.
Let's see how it tastes. You don't just taste the meat, I'm also tasting that melted Swiss and the sauerkraut and the Russian dressing.
I think the sauerkraut gives an extra texture. I almost like this one more than the other.
This is just more of like a bolder New York style flavor. You know what's amazing about a spot like this? All you hear about are old school Jewish delis closing. How often do you hear about a new one opening up? Mile End has gotten a lot of viral attention for their Christmas menu. Now, anyone who doesn't know, it is very common on Christmas for Jews to eat Chinese food. So what better way to combine the best of the Jewish world and the Chinese world and the Montreal Canadian world than General Tso's chicken, okay? So instead of the gravy, it's General Tso's sauce, chicken, and mayo.
I honestly don't know how I feel about this. And as a Chinese American, I actually don't eat General Tso chicken a lot. Would you have gotten this if I wasn't here, John?
If it was Christmas, I would have, yes. I forgot to mention, there's cheese curds in here as well.
Wow.
This could be the only place on earth that serves General Tso's poutine. We don't know, but I'm just assuming.
It wouldn't be in a Chinese restaurant, so safe to say.
All right, let's go for it. That is surprisingly amazing. That is a flavor combo that I didn't see coming.
That's a good dish. On a really lazy day, I could see myself just downing a whole plate of this by myself.
This could be like the new late night food in New York.
Yeah. It is a Jewish deli, but the General Tso chicken is on point. It's like gourmet quality chicken, actually.
It's definitely elevated. One of the most Jewish foods you can order. Potato latke. We've got applesauce, we've got sour cream, we've got a little appetite left. Interesting. I would say this is probably like the most traditional of all the foods we've had so far, that most reminded me of what like I would eat during a Jewish holiday.
Pretty good.
Crispy, yeah. I love this because normally on the channel, I'm with Ben and his lovely wife Ming. We do a lot of Chinese food together. So for you to check out a little bit of my culture,
it's my honor. I just don't have anything to compare it to.
First time for everything.
Exactly.
The surprise dish at Mile End. What do you got?
The Chinese Jewish fusion dish.
I'm gonna agree. 1 to 10. What are you giving it?
7.9.
I'm gonna give it 7.7. It surprised me a heck of a lot.
As soon as that camera's off, I'm gonna pig out on this.
Oh yes. Are you surprised that a Jewish deli is on the Michelin list?
Honestly, I am, and a Canadian Jewish deli. I'm just glad to see that Canada is contributing to the ever-growing New York food scene.
With 8282 Steak still leading on the surprise dish chart, will our next spot have any tricks up their sleeve?
Ruffian is tiny but mighty. Global themes dominate their a la carte and 4-course tasting menus that change every quarter. A wine bar on the list. I'm really intrigued by this.
This is fancy.
Hi, I'm Patrick Corneau, owner of Ruffian.
How did this beautiful bar restaurant come to be?
It opened now almost 10 years ago. Myself and some of my friends have been working originally at the restaurant Tabla, and we were looking to do a restaurant or something like that, and ultimately settled upon doing a wine bar. But we had very big aspirations, so we still had full food menu, challenging ourselves to cook ambitious food that would be appropriate to be a nice setup for wine. We were doing orange wines and Eastern European wines, I think well before they were fashionable. We cooked mostly vegetarian dishes, even though we're focused on Eastern European cuisine that is usually very meat heavy.
What are some of the best sellers for food on your menu?
We change the menu a lot. We always have a khachapuri, like Georgian style cheese. We do kind of a focus each season on a different culture. The Caucasus in winter, Balkans in spring, the East Mediterranean in summer, and we do the Austro-Hungarian Empire in fall.
What has it meant to you and the staff in the restaurant to be recognized by Michelin so many years in a row?
Yeah, it was surprising when it first happened because it was in the middle of COVID. We started the year serving food from our front door and wine in paper cups. To now have gotten it multiple years in a row since, I think we all take a lot of pride in. To have a bib gourmand, maybe as opposed to a Michelin star. When I'm going out to eat, I always think that means it's going to be maybe a bit more adventurous.
Definitely.
And in a lot of ways means more to have that.
How many bottles do you have?
10,000 bottles? I don't know.
10,000 bottles in here.
Something like that. This is our charred caraflax cabbage goulash with whipped potatoes. Lighter, more elegant version of the classic Hungarian dish. And it allows us to pull out the blowtorch, which is always fun.
We have non-alcoholic wine. You do not have to drink to drink. It is interesting for me to look at a menu and see that they mark if something is not vegetarian rather than if it's vegetarian.
It's like a little reverse there.
So you're gonna go for the Altenburg Kriek Below Frankish Red, and I have the Mash Pit Orange. I can feel those forward notes, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't drink wine very often.
I'm more of a beer guy, but this is actually pretty smooth.
We saw it getting made, the vegetarian goulash, and it's with a roasted caraflex cabbage. Since the menu is seasonal, they told us we're the first people to try this. The sauce has a lot of flavor, a lot of spices going on.
Really crunchy. It's not a texture you get in a meat dish.
I'm enjoying this a lot. Increasing in popularity a lot in New York is khachapuri, which is a well-known dish from Georgia. So it's a cheese bread. This has some egg yolk, mushroom, potato, apple butter, ajika. A lot of things going on here.
This is a good-looking piece of dish.
It's like my vegetarian Georgian grandma made this for me. This feeds my soul.
And there's actually a lot of different flavors in there.
They gave us a bit of a tasting menu, but they have a separate tasting menu. 4 courses for $60. Wine would be an extra $55.
Just 2 dudes sipping on wine on a Tuesday afternoon without their wives.
Forget going to a bar to watch football. We're going to wine bars for Georgian food, vegetarian stuff. We have the cabbage and parsnip dumplings.
The presentation is stunning.
Okay, let's do it. It's just the kind of food you have to savor, all the flavors and textures and spices that are going on.
It has a subtle sweetness to it. I think with the wine will go really well.
I don't think that Eastern European food is necessarily as popular around the country as it is in the New York area.
Especially in the East Village. And I can see why this place is doing well. The wine is good, the food is delicate, it's a good vibe overall.
Spots like this, I think, have given a lot of other wine bars some life, showing that you can have a small but a really potent menu paired with wine and people will come. Of the surprises from a very surprising, impressive spot like Ruffian, what would you say was the one dish?
This is tough, but I'm gonna go with the roasted caraflex.
I don't know, man. The khachapuri really blew me away.
I agree with you on that, but that was like the best cabbage I ever had in my life.
Rock, paper, scissors, best of one. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Boom! Cabbage it is. I give it a 7.458.
I'm gonna give it 7.3. I liked it a lot.
Definitely worth trying.
We brought alongside an extra co-host, Ben's wife, Ming from the Bing Buzz, and I was extra curious about this sleek sushi spot.
We're at Domo Domo. Let's see what Michelin's got to say. Sushi is plentiful in New York, of course, but this kitchen ups the ante of their hand rolls with top-notch nori, rice, and fish. It's not just about sushi here, though. All right, let's see what it is about.
I am super excited to eat here tonight.
So Domo Domo is known as being one of the first hand-roll bars in New York. What are we gonna order tonight?
We're gonna get the Domakatsu tonight, which is their signature course. We have sushi and a lot of hot and cold dishes too. This is the seasonal oysters, and this is the spicy tuna cone. It's like a little ice cream cone.
They took their time with this.
Yes, they
There was
did.
a lot of effort that went into the presentation here.
It's like sour and sweet at the same time.
What she said. I'm not somebody that eats oysters very often, but when I do, I want them like this. We almost forgot our ice cream cone.
Ah, ice cream. That's cute.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You can immediately tell the great sashimi from the Pretenders. Just one bite. What's inside of this?
Spicy mayo sauce.
Yeah,
This was definitely surprising.
it could be. It's a candidate.
Yeah, it is.
We've got the grilled shrimp with apple, so that's ginger sweet chili, cinnamon apple, and ricotta. Let's try it.
Let's go. The texture gets better with every bite, surprisingly. All the ingredients are listed in the name. You actually taste everything.
I like the spices. Yeah, I like the flavor profile. What is it?
Next, we have Wagyu Carpaccio with American Wagyu, shimeji mushroom with yuzu sesame sauce.
We're doing raw fish. We're also doing raw meat as well.
This yuzu sesame sauce is good.
I've actually never had Wagyu raw like that before. Also, we originally thought that the plate was made of ice. It's actually crystal. We've got the miso black cod here with the hibachi puree, black lime, and milk. It's really good, actually. It's very autumn tasting.
So soft and buttery.
Honestly, I always think of cod as kind of a boring fish to eat, but this is getting me excited. Thank you. I am the type of person that usually orders like the cheap lunch sushi deals off DoorDash. This is way above my pay grade and I'm not complaining at all. Yeah, this is definitely elevating my taste buds here.
Yum. So far, the sushi pieces are very fresh, very soft.
This isn't a surprise. Like, I was expecting this to be as good as it is.
It better be good.
This really, really impressed me a lot. We got a variety of hand rolls, and this is what Domo Domo is known for. So this is like the star of the show. Which one do you have?
I have the uni wagyu hand roll.
I got the lobster straight up. Let's do it. We're all nodding our heads. We don't want to talk. That is amazing. I really love the textures.
I like the uni as an ingredient too because of the varying temperatures as well.
That first bite was good. They nailed the hand roll for sure.
That wasn't a Michelin bib experience. That was a Michelin 1, 2, 3 star right there. Just when you thought we saw everything, we get this dessert spread.
We got the hojicha tiramisu, the matcha cheesecake, the black sesame panna cotta, and the lemon sorbet.
An advanced move. Get 4 desserts for 4 people.
Yes. You try every single one.
Desserts could be a surprise ranking candidate coming up. I don't know.
There's many good choices here. Flavors are strong.
Sweet sour, yeah.
Really refreshing. This is a black sesame panna cotta.
What's a panna cotta? Good question. If we don't know, it must be good. Different.
It's like a pudding.
Like a paste, that's the word. You know what a lot of people watching this must be thinking? Is this enough food for a tasting menu?
First 4 courses came out, I'm like, I am still hungry. When all the sushi came out, I was like, all right, I think I'll be full by the end.
Well-deserved Michelin bib status.
And there is not an empty seat in the house right now. Tough to do. Okay, there's one empty table. We're gonna ignore that one.
Don't look at that one.
All right, it's that time. Surprise dish of the meal. Ming, we'll start with you.
Definitely the miso black cod.
It's hard. I'll go with the desserts. I think they nailed it, super detail-oriented.
I'm gonna agree with Ming. I thought the miso black cod, especially with that puree, was really impressive. That was my surprise dish, so we have majority here. Now we're gonna vote 1 to 10. What did you think of the miso black cod?
I'm gonna say like a 9 or 8.5.
8.457.
8.2, big surprise. And honestly, this whole meal was super impressive.
Agree.
So good.
And the final tallies are in. The surprise dish winner, 8282 steak. That's right, they went over a 10. I didn't even know that was possible, but who cares? Potluck's fried chicken and biscuit at 9.6, the tuna melt from Augie's Counter at 8.6, the miso black cod from Domo Domo 8.4, General Tso's poutine from Mile End 7.8, and Ruffian's cabbage goulash rounding it out at 7.4. Every surprise dish hit the spot.
New York is a pizza lover's dream come true, and there's many spots that don't get the attention they deserve. Today we're spotlighting pizzerias that need to be on your radar, and we'll tell you why they're must visits. Hope you brought your appetites. Let's eat. We've got Greg, native New Yorker and food guide, and our first stop, Amore Pizza. I mean, this is as old school as they come.
Absolutely. This spot has been around for a long time in the strip mall out here in Flushing. If you're a Queens native of a certain age, you remember this spot had an arcade in the strip mall. Classic.
All right, I'm excited. Let's get in there. No Apple Pay. It's good to know.
Look how thin crust it is right there. They have all those pies ready to go. Always fresh pies. High turnover.
Yeah, good sign.
We got 3 slices to go, please.
It's as efficient as they come, I have to say.
They're really just churning out slices all day long, all night, always fresh.
I think for most people, when they envision having a slice in New York, you know, being in a strip mall parking lot probably doesn't come to mind.
Think Flushing, you think of the Chinatown. This is really the edge, more near College Point. This is institutional. Amore is very famous here in Queens. Queens locals' favorite.
I mean, let's break this down. You pointed it out inside. This is as thin a slice as they come.
I like the balance of cheese and sauce here, though it does get messy. The cheese easily will fall off. I think it's also because it's so fresh.
All right, let's do it. Every pie is fresh, every slice is fresh because they're churning them out nonstop. That's the first thing I noticed. Nice and crunchy, crispy.
It's like crispy, but somehow a little soft at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting texture. I like the sauce isn't too tangy, isn't too like zesty. It really complements the cheese quite well. And just, yeah, the crust, yeah, it's just nice and light.
You know, I've only said this about a few other spots what we've done videos of, but if you were to ask, like, what is a prototypical New York slice, I think this is up there in the conversation.
This reminds me of pizza I grew up eating in Queens. Very classic example.
I think when people think of Queens, they think of like the diversity, the street food, and Jackson Heights and Flushing, the Chinatown, but pizza's a bit of an afterthought for this borough for a lot of people, no?
Oh, absolutely. I think Queens pizza is very slept on, not just because I'm born and raised here, but I really think it's the truth. I think part of it is also because a lot of these spots are spread out. Like, this spot here is pretty far off the beaten track. It's more of a destination location.
Right by LaGuardia, like that, the planes are literally taking off. You can see one right there, United, every 2 minutes here. I have to tell you, just enjoying this slice here justifies my reasons for living in New York City. Just finding pizza like this, random strip mall. New York pizza is like one of the top 5 reasons to move here or to visit here. This is the kind of spot that I think you'd be very lucky if you grew up near here.
Yeah, I'd be here all the time if I lived closer. I do come here when I'm in the area. There's a classic old school bowling alley just down the block. I don't know how much longer it's gonna last, Whitestone Lanes. I love coming here before or after.
Just eating your pizza in the parking lot, I feel like a gourmet experience.
People who come to New York, you might not even think we have parking lots. We do. You gotta come to these parts of Queens. Queens is huge.
Feels like we're doing a pizza review video in Florida, not New York.
The pizza's gonna be way better here than Florida. Sorry, guys.
You bet. Greg, Louis is the kind of spot that you want to support because of who the owners are and what they mean to the community.
Absolutely. They do so much for the community. They were here during COVID. Elmer's Hospital just down the block was really the epicenter of COVID here in New York City. They also had a very heroic act last year. One was being robbed outside the shop and they came and intervened and got stabbed in the process. Thankfully, are okay now, survived, but incredible, heroic. We haven't even got to the food yet. That's just who they are.
All right, real New York heroes inside. Let's go.
What's up, Blue?
What's up, guys? How are you? There's very few pizzerias that are still owner-operated, especially in the city. There's not so much anymore. You might have more in Jersey and other states that really put their heart and soul into what they do. I'm here 90 hours a week. I've given my whole life. I've given my blood for this place and for my neighbors.
What do you think this spot means to the community?
Oh, we're a stable backbone, no question. I've known Greg for many, many years. I've known pretty much everybody who's ever come to my restaurant.
Which type of slice you guys most well known for?
Oh, we're very well known for our grandma slice. What you see here is a Sicilian style pie. It's fresh mozzarella, plum tomato, garlic, basil, Parmesan cheese. I've seen a lot of imitation grandmas, and they don't come close.
Clear through grandmas? Patent and move.
Oh yeah.
I have to say that the food looks fantastic, but talking to Louis, the owner, like that's a New York experience.
Yeah, I mean, this is really like, I would say, the definition of a neighborhood joint here.
Greg, do we dare say one of the best grandma slices in the city that you probably haven't heard of?
I might say the best grandma slice city I've ever heard of. I mean, this is personally my favorite. I've been coming here since they opened, 14 years. I get this all the time. I literally come in here, even if I'm ordering a steak, a salmon, a pasta, I always have to get a slice of grandma no matter what.
I break this down first. Tell us why it's different than a typical Sicilian.
So if you're not familiar with grandma slice. It's a big New York thing. A lot of times you see them much thinner. This one's actually a bit thicker. And when you hear thick, you might think of it in a bad way. It's not. The crust is very airy. It's light. There's fresh mozzarella on top. There's plum tomatoes, basil, there's garlic, there's Parmesan. So all those flavors fused together.
I gotta tell you, I've never seen a grandma slice that looked quite like this one. That's a compliment. Like, I feel like a lot of care went into the presentation. It's so easy to hold. No folding required. Nope. If your typical New York slice isn't your thing, it's a good option. All right, let's rock.
That's fantastic. You know, I've eaten this countless times. Just like that creamy, fresh mozzarella really stands out. Those chunky tomatoes, that fresh basil, that bit of garlic and Parmesan all melding together. It's just like an explosion of flavor in every bite.
I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I needed 2 bites to really figure out why I love this so much. All those things going on at once.
I'm a big fan of like herby flavors. You really get that here a lot. I really like fresh basil and like fresh herbs.
Yeah. I thought this was gonna be way heavier, way thicker, just looking at it, but no. Telling Greg off camera, it's like going to Luigi's in Park Slope, talking to Gio there. Same thing here with Louis. Great pizza, great owners, support their communities, and I can just tell there's consistency behind every slice here when you come.
I can vouch for that. I mean, eating countless grandmas, it's always on point.
Interesting that this actually feels like a restaurant too.
It's gotten to the point where when I come here and if I just order pizza, it's awkward for me. I have to order a dish here because the food here is so good. It's really great value too.
So you don't even know what you like better here, the pizza or the dinner.
Beautiful thing about it, I just get this for an appetizer as I wait for my food. So get best of both worlds every time.
That's the way to do it.
And the fact that I have a ribeye steak, like pretty incredible. That's one of the best steaks I've ever had in New York.
What's the ribeye cost here, you know?
$25.
New York's best steaks you never heard of. Video idea. If you enjoy food adventures like this and you want Greg's local insights when you come to New York, check out Greg's food tour, linked down below in the description. I have had many of you tell me it was the highlight of your trip to the city. Check it out. All right, Greg, from the old school to the new school, we've got Mano's Pizzeria, established 2021. Why is this on the video?
This is really, I think, a fusion of like old school, like heritage, and new school, elevated ingredients and technique. Really big fan of the spot.
I'm really curious. I've heard good things.
Yeah. We get 2 upside downs and 2 mano pellas.
It's like Christmas came early with these colors. I'm very, very excited for this. We're at a fine dining Italian establishment outside. You don't usually see these kind of tablecloths on the street. I kind of like it. This place is so good that DoorDash delivery drivers will eat it first inside, then bring you your pie, okay? It's a good signal. Look at this colorful display. Tell everybody what we've got.
Upside down square. So this one's got the cheese first, sauce on top, a little bit of grated Parmesan. Looks like some oregano as well. Very airy. That's really the first thing that jumps out at you is a very airy square slice. And then you got this is the Mano Pella. It's actually named for the last name of the owner. Before we even get into the ingredients, just look how puffy this cornicione is on the edge. This one is vodka sauce, pesto, and chicken cutlet. You know, I don't usually do chicken pizza, but I'll make exception for this.
People have never ordered this in the city before. L&B Spumoni Gardens, they ask you if you want a corner or a middle, right? I'm gonna do middle, actually.
Let's take the corner.
Let's give it a go. Try this. Tomato sauce, just that has a bold flavor in your face. And for someone like me that's really into a saucy pizza, this is good.
Just the first thing you notice, that shatteringly crisp crust. Unbelievable how crunchy that bottom is.
I've had L&B Spumoni Gardens before. Everyone says best upside down slice in the city. I'm gonna go with this. I like this better. What do you think?
It's amazing. I think they're both different. If I were to choose which one to eat more often, I would say this one. I like the airier, lighter dough. I think the tomato sauce is sharper as well. It's just, you know, it's more, take it to the next level. Like L&B is old school, but this is more like highly elevated ingredients, fermentation.
No disrespect to L&B, this is just a little bit more my style. Now the owner didn't want to be on camera, but he was telling us off camera that he pays a lot of attention to this dough, and you can immediately tell that from any bite. I don't know if Ridgewood, Queens is exactly thought of as like a big food neighborhood.
I think more in recent years, more places have been opening up. I think this is a destination-worthy pizzeria.
Look at all these crumbs, how crunchy this is. It's a very sturdy slice, like zero flop, considering how many ingredients we've got on it too. Let's give this a go. That pesto just balances everything out. Pesto and vodka sauce. Nice combination here.
I like how thick it is on top too. You know, sometimes it should be like a little bit of a drizzle. It's a really thick pesto.
Yeah.
But I'll even tell you that the chicken cutlet is well seasoned and marinated as well. It's not just an afterthought here.
I think you could put a lot of these ingredients in a sandwich. It'll be fantastic too.
Same wavelength there.
Yeah. What can't you do with a good chicken cutlet?
I bet you he would make great bread. Like, just how skilled he is at making this dough, I bet you he would make a great sandwich bread. The dough is so well made and fermented that you don't feel so heavy in your stomach. That's the thing about all these new school shops is that way.
This has been one of my favorite slices of the day, I gotta tell you right here. You know what it reminds me of? Similar new school vibe, Lucia's Avenue X in Brooklyn.
Old school inspiration, new school technique, and kind of elevated fermentation, dough ingredients. I agree with you there.
Check that out in our Brooklyn Pizza Guide. Did a really good video last year, including Lucia's. I think New Yorkers are getting pickier about pizza as well. You can't just open up a dollar shop and expect people to show up now.
When you have pizza like this in New York, I don't even want to waste my stomach space on dollar slices, I'll tell you.
It's funny because most of the native New Yorkers I meet, they want nothing to do with dollar pizza. I get it, trust me.
You know why? Because old school good pizza like we had like at Amore, for example, that used to be $1 for a slice back in the 90s.
You're right.
If only still was, right? But
Jersey boy here. We're sitting outside of Satriali's here in the Sopranos, all right?
kind of reminds me of that because like with the tablecloths, it's kind of like a chilly fall day, you know? Kind of brings me that vibe.
It was a little cloudy out. Dave Portnoy did not give this spot a very high review.
But he's from Boston.
I respect what the guy does, but I don't always agree in his reviews. I think this place deserves a higher score personally. Mono's is a destination. You travel for these slices, I'll tell you. I gotta tell you from the outside, if I didn't see that pizza sign, I would not think so was a pizza shop.
Very low key.
Filipino's is one of your favorite spots in the whole city.
It really is. Yeah, I've been coming here. I think they've been open about 4 or 5 years now. They got a really nice variety of pizza here. The dough is really some next level. Excited to share with you guys.
Let's get in there.
What's up? Good, how are you doing?
I want to do one of the Jersey Shores and a classic.
You got it. Do the same.
So we put a little extra attention and detail into the dough. We ferment our dough 72 hours so that way it releases all natural enzymes in the flour so you can digest it a little bit better. And we also put a little extra water into the dough so it gives it a nice light and airiness to it. And now my mom has a problem with digesting dough, so I thought it would be like something that would save her from not eating bad bread or bad pizza, so something she could digest. And she can digest my bread and my pizza dough. You see me here at 2 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm here all the time just touching this stuff. I make the square dough and a round dough. You can taste the difference in the dough. It adds to the flavor of the actual pizza itself.
Dude, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
And hearing Dave talk about pizza, it's like a professor.
He really is so passionate about dough. Like when he says he's here at 2 a.m., he's here at 2 a.m.
Jersey Shore square slice. I mean, Greg, this is basically like a sausage and pepper hero in pizza form.
On a pizza form, and this really light square dough. Topped it off a little grated Parmesan fresh. One of my favorite slices here to get. You know, the square is always a must order here, and I think this is my favorite of the squares. Besides the special vegan square that they don't have today.
I've actually never seen a slice quite like this one before, so I'm excited. Let's try this.
Yeah.
Light and airy crust, as I already knew, but it's wild getting that sausage and pepper and onion in one bite on a pizza. Wow, this is different, but in a really good way.
Yeah, I like the combo of the spicy and the sweet peppers, and then the onion, you have all that crunch to go with the crunch of the crust itself.
I don't know what I'm admiring more, the pizza or the sausage and pepper flavor. It's like a tie right now. You can tell Dave knows his dough. Just after 2 bites, like I can tell.
I'd say the lightest square slice I've ever eaten is from Dave.
And don't sleep on the grated Parmesan cheese. It's like the cherry on top of this amazing slice. This smells like a mix of the Jersey Shore Boardwalk and the Feast of San Gennaro. And if you can visualize that and smell that, you're gonna love this pizza. All right, Greg, slice number 6 of the day. I mean, if this wasn't my job, I would say this is probably not the healthiest idea for one day, but we're troopers.
I was just here a couple weeks ago. I ate 5 slices in one sitting, and I didn't feel gross afterwards. So that's all you need to know about Filipino is that you can eat as much pizza as you want here and not feel gross afterwards. That's how well fermented the dough is. That's how light it is. That's how much attention and care is put into the dough. Grated Parmesan, a little olive oil on top, and fresh basil, which I love. Bring it all together.
You know, the cheese, tomato sauce, a little tangier flavor, I have to say, compared to some of the other spots we've been to, but I'm liking it.
I think that grated Parmesan really comes in, adds that nice layer of umami to this, and a little bit of the olive oil, that fresh basil. And then the crust itself, actually with a pizza like this, I like to eat the edge kind of early on.
A lot of love goes into these slices. Man, we've been saying that all day, but most of these spots anyway.
It reminds me of like an old school slice growing up, but elevated. You have that more of the sourdough flavor.
What do you think of Sunnyside in general as a food spot?
I think Sunnyside's a pretty underrated food neighborhood. There's like quite a amount of diversity here. I mean, this is one of my favorite pizzerias in the whole city. There's a really cool Bolivian restaurant nearby. There's a Lebanese restaurant. There's Turkish. There's Romanian, Paraguayan restaurant over here. You have a lot around here.
That's a great thing about coming to Queens on a food tour. Yeah, you can find like amazing pizza, which it doesn't get enough credit for, but then Latin America and Asia got you covered on all fronts.
Pizza European, you name it.
Like I'm not a vegan, but I come here just for that slice.
Yeah. You want to say anything on our video? You want to say hi?
Actually, I was in the bar stool once. This guy is like the quintessential pizza master maker, working his butt off. He's making dough every freaking night of the week. But it's legit. It's one of the best pizza places in Sunnyside, and honestly, in Queens, 100%. I mean, like it rivals the Brooklyn slices. Sunnyside's the best.
Today, we're feasting our way through 5 dumpling spots in Manhattan's Chinatown to see which ones are best. From fried to steamed, get ready for this mouth-watering insider tour. And I'm bringing along 2 of my local friends as guides, Ben and Ming from the Bing Buzz. Is there anything more iconic than a fried dumpling from a spot like Tasty Dumpling?
This spot has been around for so long. It's so iconic. A lot of people have grown up on this spot, and after a game of basketball, come here and grab a little snack.
So all the kids in the park love this place.
Yes.
Are you the guy from YouTube?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Glad I'm eating at a good place. It's our first time eating a dumpling.
Oh, nice. What'd you think? All right, well, enjoy. Nice meeting you.
Wow, usually the spot is like packed on the weekends. Packed.
This is actually, I think, the quietest I've ever seen it here.
Yeah, really. Can we get 2 orders of number 1?
Very important. Cash only. Yeah.
I've been waiting for this.
I mean, I think this is one of the best deals in Chinatown. 50 cents each. Now, you said this isn't even the cheapest fried dumpling, not even by a long shot.
That's why I gave you the look.
$4, pork and chive dumplings, just a classic. Nice and crispy. I never put so much sauce in mine until you did that. I love it. I love the combination of the sriracha, vinegar.
Spicy and sour and savory all in one. There's a reason why people of all ages love this dumpling spot. So at some spots, the dumplings are pretty dry. This spot is actually pretty greasy, and it's so much better with the sauce. It's not too doughy, it has some chives in it and a good amount of meat.
I'll tell you, I think a lot of times I'm more in the mood to do a dumpling run like this than I would be for dollar pizza.
I definitely go for a dumpling run over a dollar pizza run.
But if you're a fan of like anything fried, never had a dumpling before, I think they'd be a really good spot, like your first visit in Chinatown.
I think so. I love dumplings. I'm so excited for this tour.
There's something cool about naming your store very simple, like Dollar Pizza, fried dumpling, tasty dumpling. And just like Dollar Pizza store, they have to mass produce, mass serve these dumplings to make it work. And these guys are doing it.
All right, Ben, we've got a wild card for this stop. Instead of your traditional dumpling, we're gonna get a shumai.
Yeah, we had a stranger took us here one time and we fell in love. Ming almost cried when she had it.
This is amazing. I love this place.
And these dumplings are a little different, but I'll wait for you to try it.
Okay.
As you can see, it's a little more of an open kitchen and a nice place to sit, a lot of sitting.
So you could easily do a sit down here if you want.
Oh yeah. What is this?
Yes, it's a hot oil. There's a bagel with the sauce.
I'll do another one.
One more, okay, sure.
How hot we talking here? Love it. This is the most visually appealing place, I'm pretty sure, of the entire video. All right, got some shumai, pork and shrimp inside, right?
Heck yeah.
Hot oil on top. Let's do this.
Ooh. Cheers.
Cheers. Wow, it's so soft and silky. Ooh, hot. What happened there for the other amateurs? Too much hot chili oil for me?
Yeah, but now that you see it coming, you won't do it again.
You've never had this before, don't down the whole thing. I should have been warned when Ben was like, I'm like, why is he doing that? Okay, and then it hit me.
Well, wait till Ming comes on the camera, she's gonna drink the soup.
Okay, much better. Get a little bit of that heat from the hot oil. I like how silky it is.
Yeah.
But man, this thing's got a kick.
Look at how plump the shrimp is, and there's a good amount of pork in here.
Oh yeah.
Scallion lays on top beautifully.
All right, my only thing is next time less of the hot oil on top and we're good. Like just, I didn't need that second round. The second round was snuck up on me.
These are pretty much the wonton. These are technically shumai, and shumais are actually a little bit exposed, but as in the name wonton garden, they're actually very similar to the famous wonton that they serve.
Yeah.
The wrapper is much thinner. It's square wrappers, much thinner, so it floats better in the soup that they made it. And yeah, if you ever bring your friends to Chinatown, this spot won't disappoint.
No, I know I already love this.
Oh, Ming just put me to shame. She's like, John, I could drink this soup for breakfast. You can't even handle it on one shumai. I'm ruined. I'm ruined.
Shumais and wontons are technically dumplings, and not all dumplings are wontons and shumais.
And this is why I hang out with Ben and Ming so much. They teach me a lot about Chinese food, Chinese culture, what's too hot for me. Make sure you subscribe to their channel for more adventures like this. Bing Buzz, linking in the description. Ming Deluxe Greenbow is one of my favorite spots in all of Chinatown.
This place has been around for so long and hits every single time. So many people come here, visit here, and get everything on the menu. There's such a variety, but today we're gonna eat some soup dumplings.
Love soup dumplings.
You're getting the xiaolongbao. Boom.
Crab and pork mix, $9.95.
Cash only. Everything's cash only today. Most of it, right?
Is that Venmo? You could do Venmo.
Oh, you could Venmo?
Yeah.
Cash only or Venmo. Ming, have you ever had a soup dumpling on the street before?
No, I don't think so.
This isn't really, would you consider this street food?
Usually no, but first time for everything.
All right.
First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bite a little hole on the top so that you can let the steam come out so you don't burn yourself. Now this hole, you're gonna pour some vinegar onto it. Into it, I mean. Whee! Okay? All cool down so you don't burn yourself. You pop it in your mouth. And that's how you eat a soup dumpling.
Ben and Ming in our video showing Chinatown's most popular eateries did go to Joe's Shanghai where they properly showed me how to eat soup dumplings. I was doing it wrong all those years. I saved it. I saved it. You want to pour the vinegar for me?
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. And just down the rest of it.
And drink that soup.
That's the best part of the end right there. The soup at the end. Oh, the vinegar. That's the missing link right there. That vinegar. I haven't been to every spot, but as far as soup dumplings are concerned, Deluxe Greenbow's always been my favorite.
It's really up there.
All right, John. Asian dad style. I think I missed Ming's tutorial, so.
He fell asleep during Ming's tutorial. All right, show us how it's done one bite.
Soup dumplings started from like a rural part of Shanghai, and it's enjoyed by all now. And you probably find really great soup dumplings in Flushing, but I think these are pretty much up there as well.
One of the best things about soup dumplings is that it's super interactive, super fun to eat.
And I think Deluxe Greenbow actually became a really popular spot because they're one of the few that actually open really late.
So how late are we talking?
Oh, 10 p.m., but it's pretty late for this area.
Cheers.
What the hell is that? Those are crab pork dumpling.
You've literally created a sideshow here with your performance. People are stopping in the street.
We're doing it for YouTube. Oh, for fun, because we enjoy it. Let me pour this in.
Holy
Woo!
Thank
you.
Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Bye.
Bye. I think he just started a viral trend right there. Ben, you can tell we're in the right place. Look at that faded sign. Only good things are ahead.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that sign looks like it's been here forever. This place doesn't need any help with exposure, but this area could use a little more exposure. This side of Chinatown doesn't have all the fancy, cute dessert shops, but this one is definitely one to check out.
102, 10 dumplings.
Two go.
$5.25.
Man, we got lucky today because last time we walked through here, we couldn't even get through. It was like people on people.
We're in business. These look way different than the ones at Tasty Dumpling.
Yeah, I think this shape, this way of frying it is very uniquely to Super Taste. It looks like a Chinese taquito. Our friends who frequent this place showed us the right way of eating this.
All right.
Let's pour it all in. I know John is a little worried, but it's gonna be worth it.
Then we're gonna close this back up. And then we do a little... and then, voila!
I've never seen a dumpling like this before. We're ditching the chopsticks, right? We're just going in with the hands?
Heck yeah.
All right, this is a lot of chili oil, but I'm just gonna take a bite. I'm not gonna down the whole thing like last time.
You'll be all right, John.
All right, let's do it.
I love this. Cheers.
Cheers. It is so much crispier than any fried dumpling I've ever had in Chinatown here before.
Exactly. They really made a name for themselves with the way they're frying it. It's super unique. The dumplings are nicely wrapped up all the way around and they're exposed on the two ends. So you can see the filling, the juiciness, the moist, everything. Don't quote me on this, but yeah, it's the only place I've seen. And they make it almost like a little rectangular shape. They definitely nailed the moist to fry ratio.
I also have to say that the way Ming shook it up, they really spread out the chili oil where it's just not that hot for me.
Right.
As someone that doesn't love the spiciest, hottest foods.
And for someone that just want to dive right in and start eating, instead of dipping, wasting time dipping, I like this way more.
Now these might look very scary with the chili oil, but trust, this is a super bite.
Super bite for super taste. It's pretty cheap.
58 cents each. What are you gonna do when you see the day when dumplings cost $1 each?
I'll be so sad. The search will continue.
Sujiao Fuzhou cuisine. Dare I call this the king of Chinatown cheap eats?
These dumplings are one of the cheapest ones that we're going to on this whole food tour today. These steamed dumplings are super nostalgic for me. I grew up on these.
I don't know if there is a cheaper location in Chinatown for everything.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of variety here. Yeah.
Does it have a 4A large?
Yeah, 450.
And all of us have had this before, and we can vouch before even trying it on camera how good this is, but let's confirm it.
Cheers.
Cheers. And they're always busy for a good reason, like silky smooth, a lot of chives too. I think this is the most chives we've gotten all day. It's one of those standbys right there. Always know it's gonna be quality.
Silky, juicy, smooth, and if you can't handle chili oil, these are your go-tos.
Actually, after having all the chili oil, I was like, where is the extra spice? I need a little more fire in my life. But yeah, it doesn't need chili oil. It's fantastic without it, with it. And the nice thing about Sujiao Fuzhou cuisine is that they are famous for their peanut noodles, some of their other foods too. So you can eat other things there as well. They're very versatile.
Yes, wide variety at that spot. It's dumpling time.
This is all I ever wanted in life.
Good food, a show with a girl. It's so good. Here.
Did you know you can also buy these frozen?
Yes, you can. I love frozen dumplings. All you have to do is boil it for 8 minutes when you go home.
Yep.
8 minutes.
And then some vinegar and soy sauce and you're good to go.
Do you two agree? Best budget date idea in New York City. Dumplings, park, perfect.
So good.
The Bagel, one of New York's food icons, and today our mission is to visit the most popular bagel shops in the city to find out just why they're so good. From the classics to wild flavors, we're gonna take a bagel tour you won't soon forget. Let's go. We're starting this journey in Whitestone, Queens, where my co-host, native New Yorker Greg, you've been coming here for years. Why Utopia Bagels?
There's something special about these bagels. I think they're the best in the city. Just the technique. You're gonna see what it's all about. There's nothing like Utopia Bagels.
Well, it's definitely a lot more space than Manhattan Bagel Shop.
Look at that production area. It's crazy. A lot of people working.
My name is Jesse Spellman. I'm the co-owner at Utopia Bagels. Welcome to the shop. We go through about 70 to 100,000 bagels a week. So that comes out to about 10 to 14,000 bagels a day, all hand rolled. Utopia Bagels opened in 1981. This side of the store we took over in 2014. You know, we're always looking to do new ideas forever and do crazier options. We do a giant pizza bagel, as a lot of you may see now. So we don't teach any timers or anything like that. It's all about feel and eye. So once they get on the seed boards, then we seed the top of them. So the boards go in the oven and they get one rotation around this oven, and then we flip them off of the boards onto the slate. That's how they get the crispy bottoms. This specific oven, it's a Middleby Marshall from 1947. Definitely the only one left in the city, that as far as I know of. Fresh bagels at Utopia is our motto. You come in on any day, 4:30, 4:45, we close at 5. You're still gonna be able to get a hot bagel out the oven. What makes our bagel special is, again, the great workers we have here that is servicing the customers and also taking that extra step in terms of caring for the bagel.
The Bag of Bagels adventure is about to begin. We saw everything being made. You can imagine how hungry we are.
I'm starving right now. Excited to see what you think of it. You're a Fairlawn bagel guy.
I'm a Jersey bagel boy, so I grew up with amazing bagels in my hometown of Fairlawn, New Jersey. We're going simple to start. I got an everything with scallion cream cheese.
Got egg everything, so basically the same, but with the egg bagel, everything seasoning. Not easy to find these. My favorite bagel here to get.
And the first thing that strikes me, they're not that big. A lot of New York bagels are way puffier.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter. It's not so much of a gut bomb usually, which is nice.
All right, let's give us a go. That may be
the crispiest exterior of a bagel I've ever tried in my life. And that's a major compliment.
Got really nice chew to it, very light. Like it's really not gonna be such a gut bomb like some other bagel shops can be.
You know, crispy on the outside and then like soft and pillowy on the interior. I can't say I've ever had a bagel quite like this one, and this has got to be one of the best bagels I've ever had in my entire life.
And they really put a lot of care into it. There's so much prep that goes in the back, just the way they ferment it, proofing. It's just a lot that goes into it. It's really an art to make bagels like this.
I also don't think I've ever finished a bagel this fast. Like, I'm almost done. Bagels usually take a little bit longer for me, but this is so good. I just can't help myself. You know what I think makes them stand out is an oven from 1947. Pizza shops in New York are all about the ovens, but we don't think about bagel places enough when it comes to ovens,
We really
right?
don't, yeah, because like some pizzerias, like they'll keep the ovens forever because really they've been seasoned for a long time. And it would make sense too. I mean, bagels, pizza, they're both baked goods. Prepping with the dough is extremely important in both cases, so it makes a lot of sense. It all comes down to technique.
Attention to detail. I mean, as Jesse was going through it with us, you could see like every little step taken care of there.
What I was really impressed by, there's no timers there. It's all by feel. Like that's experience and professional right there.
And if you like what you saw here, they are available on Goldbelly. One thing that they're very proud of is how they're a mix of an old school spot opened in 1981 and new school with a lot of these, let's say, more Instagrammable bagels.
This is like the ultimate breakfast sandwich right here. You got hash browns, sausage, egg, cheese, avocado, a little bit of chipotle mayo on there too, and a Asiago bagel. Never really gotten anything here that's so involved like this. Usually I stick with the classics, so I'm excited to try it. It's really a whole breakfast in one sandwich. And I love that just the bagel itself is not so heavy, just like we've been stressing so far about it. So it really is a great balance of the filling and the bagel.
This is the worth it. We've got cream cheese, lox, tomatoes, onions, and capers on sesame bagel. You know, for a spot so well known for their bagels, their lox are actually really, really good. Like not overly salty. Obviously, you have an amazing bagel to go with it. The worth it is absolutely worth it. They have these incredible bagels, and then you can order all sorts of varieties for lunch or even for dinner.
There's actually an excellent Szechuan restaurant directly across the street here called Legend and Taste. We've had a full family-style meal there, and still come here afterwards for dessert because if you're in this neighborhood, you gotta go to Utopia. As long as you're here before 5 o'clock, you gotta do it. So that was dessert.
And Jesse was telling us that some old timers come with suitcases, bring their bagels to Florida to last months.
One day, a gentleman comes in, he goes, "Hey, what's going on? I'm from Dubai, just came here, want to try the bagels." And I'm like, "Did you come here just to try the bagel?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna get the bagels and fly back right now." And the guy, you know, he had nice clothes on, nice watch, decked out, and walk outside, sure enough, there's 9 family members, all from Dubai, like excited, trying the bagels. Crazy the type of people, you know, you get to come from all over.
That was the best bagel I had in my entire life. That was, I said that on camera too.
Oh,
He knows,
is, man.
He knows. Absolute bagels, as old school as they come, just an icon here in Upper Manhattan.
Oh yeah, this is the Upper West Side staple right here. One of the best bagel shops in the city, I'll say, along with Utopia.
An important note, bring your cash only.
I love it, it's like the old school like Chinese takeout style menu. I love it.
Usually the line here is around the block. You come around on a Saturday or Sunday, be prepared to wait for an hour with a bunch of Columbia students.
Oh, they charge you 10 cents for toasting?
We're not toasting.
No, I never toast.
What do you say? I never think you have to toast a good bagel.
I never toast either. What I like is I see a lot of the everything bagel seasoning on this, really coated on the bagel. They don't look too puffy as well. They look great. One everything bagel with veggie cream cheese, please. 3 Thai teas also, please, small. Thank you. So even while ordering the bagels, I see them hand rolling them up in the back over there. I see the big kettle to boil them too. Right in front of us. It's cool to watch.
There's not too many bagel spots where you order a Thai iced tea, and you're gonna find out why shortly. Oh, perfect for summer.
This is the spot.
All right, got our drink, got some bagels, let's rock. We got the everything with vegetable cream cheese. I'm getting kind of similar vibes actually to Utopia. Not so dense, not so big. What do you see?
Yeah, not so dense here. It's like a little thinner. Some of these bagels will be very puffy. This one looks just nice as far as size.
So how many times have you been here? This is my second trip.
I think this might be my 3rd or 4th time here.
Absolutely was blown away by this, but let's see how it tastes the second time around. Very chewy, very crispy on the outside. This is solid. This is as good as I remember.
Yeah.
You?
Very good. It's like a nice chew, not so dense and heavy. Nice coating with everything spice on the outside. I do like that.
Something else I like about Absolute is a location here. We're right under Morningside Heights. You don't really see tourists coming here.
Not so much. But this is a place I would really recommend for anyone in Manhattan who wants a really good bagel. It's worth taking the trip because also it's a nice neighborhood, very scenic.
Now remember I mentioned the Thai iced tea. Interesting fact, the owner is from Thailand. His name is Sam Thongkring, and in 1990, he moved from Bangkok to New York City. He actually used to work at Essa Bagel. So I think a lot of the staff here is Thai, and because of that, well, you've been to Thailand recently. How does the Thai iced tea rank for you?
I'll say this one is not too sweet. You really taste the tea. It's not as heavy on the milk, and I think it pairs really well with the more salty, savory bagel.
I mean, that's just New York City right there.
Yeah.
You have someone from Thailand who is running what was traditionally a Jewish business with bagels. I would say a lot of bagel shops right now are not owned by Jewish people, Greek people. People of all ethnicities in New York make bagels.
Yeah, it's like pizza too. Pizza from all different backgrounds, Albanian, Mexican, you name it.
We got Essa Bagel, and I think this is the most well-known bagel spot to tourists and people who aren't from New York. This is the original location, opened in 1976 here in Gramercy.
Yeah, they have multiple locations throughout the city. I used to work nearby one. Very solid bagel. Makes you think of like Joe's Pizza as far as like recognizability for a New York iconic food, like bagels or pizza.
Definitely an icon, I agree. All right, well, we're going to the original, let's see. Hey, everything scallion? Yeah, thank you. That was quick, bro.
Yeah.
Ready to rock. Thank you. Thank you. You too. You can see how far these bagels have traveled on this map, like where they're shipping them out, I guess, with Gold Belly. And as Greg noted, Florida has the most people. Oh my, it's like the whole state is full of orders.
All the snowbirds.
You know what I noticed immediately is just how much heavier one bagel is. Like one from Essa feels like two from Absolute or Utopia.
Yeah, a little workout.
Greg, did you know that Essa Bagel in Yiddish and German means eat a bagel?
I did hear that once before, yeah.
Hence the name. Yeah, playing off the Jewish background of the New York City bagel, because that is where the bagel originated from. Jews from Poland came to New York City at the turn of the 20th century. And you know, when I think of like the stereotypical New York bagel, I'm thinking of an Essa Bagel. It's fat like this, and it has 3 pounds of cream cheese.
I love the coating of the everything bagel seasoning on the bottom. Oddly, on the top is not so much, but here it's covered, and I love that on everything bagels. Very puffy as compared to the first 2 stops, but it looks good.
All right, let's rock. Let's try this. Definitely a lot softer and doughier than the other 2 bagels we had.
No, everything bagel seasoning is a little more on the salty side here, though there is a lot of it. I do like that. I do like the chewiness and a bit doughy, but I'm really more into the lighter bagel, I would say.
Yeah, I think this is like more what you're typically gonna find in New York, this style of bagel, again, especially with this much cream cheese, if you don't say anything, but I think it's perfectly fine. This was the first bagel you ever had in the city, and for a lot of people it is. I've been to the Midtown location, and the line was insane. This is the original. We came in the afternoon on a Monday, so not that many people, but you know, they get a lot of return business for a reason.
They definitely are in like Midtown area down here. They're a very solid option, I would say.
I don't know if I'm getting the same reaction to the Utopia or the Absolute Bagel, which just completely stood out for me as far as just like your classic bagel. But I do think this stands by itself. I do think this is solid.
It's definitely famous for a reason. I think it's quite good. I think it really depends. If you like bigger, fluffier, like a little doughier bagel, it's just probably your kind of spot. But it's quite good.
I think half of this could fill me up, like really.
It's massive.
The thing is, Absolute and Utopia really aren't in touristy areas, so you're probably more likely to come to Essa Bagel.
Yeah, those are more, I would say, destination spots. This is more like a very convenient, very solid bagel you can get in New York.
If you're visiting New York and you want one of the best local street food tours in the city, check out Greg's tour. We're gonna put the information down below. I send so many of my viewers to him, and they always have an amazing time.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see you on the tour. Please come join us.
Tompkins Square Bagels, opened in 2011, named after Tompkins Square Park, just 1 block away. And I would say this is the hipster choice. This is the really popular East Village option.
Yeah, all over social media, you definitely see the rainbow bagel. They're very famous for that. And a lot of other sweet bagels and other funky combos. Probably the funkiest bagels we'll eat today.
33 different types of cream cheeses. That's where we'll start. You'll see the rest.
Oh, it's big.
Definitely feel like we're in the East Village.
Yeah.
Hi, we're looking for Frank.
Yes, we all are. My name is Frank Russo. I am the district manager for Tompkins Square Bagels. We have about 33 to 40 different spreads. We created a lot of these just from trends, comments, people wanted different things, and we came up with our own recipes. All the cream cheeses here are made in-house.
My men aren't deli guys. They're food stylists. They're sandwich artists. They just don't make it, they create it.
I'm curious, you ever have people who look at these flavors then like, no, you can't put this kind of sweet stuff on a bagel like they're traditionalists. What do you say to them?
They don't know the kids at NYU. They're old timers. They like their old cream cheese and lox. That's it. No, nothing else.
You know your audience.
Yes. Yeah. The people that come here are the ones that really love the bagels and the actual oddball stuff that we serve.
Okay.
One of our classic favorites. It's the French toast bagel with birthday cake cream cheese. Now, the birthday cake cream cheese is basically like a sweet cream with funfetti sprinkles. Plain bagel with walnut raisin cream cheese, chocolate chip cookie dough, and on a French toast bagel.
Growing up in Fairlawn, New Jersey, I think I would have been really interested in trying bagels like this as a kid. Now, he was telling us that the NYU students are in love with these wild bagels. French toast with birthday cake cream cheese. You got the
cookie dough, chocolate chip cookie dough cream cheese.
So this is completely putting some of those flavors we had like on their sides right now. We're going from very savory to very sweet.
Go from very traditional to very non-traditional, and I'm here for it. You know, Pamey is one of the people who's more of a skeptic initially, but seeing it and smelling it, I'm actually very excited.
Let's give it a go. Desserty. That would be the first words that come to mind. Like, serve this at a party afterwards, I don't know. Even for breakfast, if you're looking for something sweeter,
yeah.
The birthday cake cream cheese, it's sweet, but it's not like overly sugary. It literally tastes like I'm just taking little pieces of a birthday cake. You're taking off the layer, the cream.
And this French toast bagel, I know he said it's brioche. I really taste that. I taste a bit of the cinnamon in here. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool riff on like a French toast breakfast, but in bagel form. The bagel itself is quite billowy, soft. I really like it. I think it pairs really nice with the sweet cream cheese. I'll say it's probably the first sweet bagel cream cheese combo I've ever tasted that I enjoyed.
What's wild to me is comparing this to Absolute Bagels, like almost old school as they come, and then they have these flavors here and these cream cheeses. Do you think that people's tastes are beginning to change?
I mean, I think it's in general. I think people are getting more creative with, you know, like sandwiches. You have these places that do crazy, customizable, like Akiway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think now it's just kind of like very creative, even with pizza. Like a lot of foods are getting much more creative. I think because people are more adventurous, more willing to step out of their comfort zones when it comes to traditional foods.
I think Tompkins Square was the first one to do the French toast bagel, and this was before Instagram. This is before TikTok. This is before these things really blew up. Who would you tell to come here?
Someone who loves dessert. I mean, we haven't really tried the savory. We ate a lot of savory today, but if you want to try something really unique and you really like sweets, I would say come here. If you want to go to like a pastry store, you want to try a bagel, but you want to get a little sweetness to it, come here.
Plus, if you're visiting New York City, high chance you're in the East Village at some point. Yeah. And maybe one person in your group likes really sweet stuff. You can still get all the classics here. They even have a Jersey bagel, Taylor ham and cheese. They have everything here.
I really like the bagel itself. This French toast bagel is really unique. I haven't heard of this before here. Really like the flavors. A little subtle cinnamon in there. Is eggy flavor. Very nice.
I had certain expectations for all the spots, especially Utopia and Absolute, but I would say this was the biggest surprise. I did not expect to like this sweet dessert type of bagel as much as I did.
Same here. I'll actually say that Tompkins, this is the first time I've ever been here, and I'm just really shocked in like a pleasant surprise kind of way. Like, I usually don't go for sweet bagels. I'm very much a traditionalist. Like, the funkiest I'll go maybe some Chipotle cream cheese on a bagel because I like that flavor, but I will rock with these sweet ones. I actually tasted a little bit of the espresso cream cheese, which is amazing. If you're a coffee lover, really like that one.
Today, we're eating our way through New York's Filipino neighborhood, Little Manila, to show you why this is one of the city's best-kept food secrets. We're on Roosevelt Avenue in Woodside, Queens. We've got Johnny, who's from the Philippines, fellow New York City content creator. Why are we starting at Renee's?
Renee's is the OG spot here in Little Manila. You can really taste the traditional type of food here. It's kind of like grandma's or mom's cooking, so this is the best place to go to.
I feel like I'm right at home.
If you go to any Filipino household, usually there's like spoons or forks on the wall. I'm not really sure why that's in, but in my household in the Philippines, they were like this long.
We've been here for like 31 years. The job that I used to work to closed the company, and so with my husband, so we decided to cook like the empanada and the siopaw. We started that product and sell it to Filipino store, became famous. So I asked my husband to let's try and open a little restaurant. I'm the second one.
The second restaurant here. But you're the oldest running restaurant right now.
Right now, yes.
What do you think a restaurant like this means to the local Filipino community?
Well, it makes them feel like home. You know, it gives them like a reminder of like how the Philippines is. Just like being around family.
Before we were just 2 Filipino restaurants. Now, probably 10 of restaurants.
What are your best sellers?
Kare-kare and the barbecues.
This is too much food. This is a feast we've got here. Basically just opened like grandma's kitchen to us, I think. And brought every possible signature Filipino dish, more or less.
Pretty much. I'm really excited.
First observation about eating at a Filipino restaurant, there is no knife on the table.
We don't believe in knives, actually. It's really funny. When I met my wife, she saw me cutting with a spoon. She was like, do you need a knife? I was like, for what?
Let's start with the lumpia.
It's deep fried pork egg rolls.
This is one of the few things on this table I have had. Oh, let's rock. Did that in one bite. That was impressive.
That's how you know I'm excited. And the food's good. And we dip it in like a sweet and sour sauce type of thing.
The last time I had this was Thanksgiving 2 years ago, and Ben, the longtime cameraman and one of the co-hosts on the channel who passed away this summer of lymphoma, he brought this to Thanksgiving, and it's bringing back memories, and we filmed with him a couple years ago in Little Manila, so I'm definitely dedicating this video to his memory because I know he'd be having a ball with us right now, trust me.
All right, so let's go on to the sisig. This is one of those dishes that you kind of just invite a few friends and you have a couple beers and you eat it, you're drinking.
I have had sisig before. My last trip to Little Manila, yes.
Yeah, pork belly, ear, the snout, all the good stuff, right? And then they grill it, put it on here and just chop it all up. Nice egg on top.
A lot of people order the egg in the middle. It's not standard, but it's very popular here.
Proper way to do this is you have to mix everything, right? So the egg mixes with all the good parts in there. So, and then you finish it off with a little bit more lemon. A little bit of the sisig, and you need to have some rice in there too. One bite.
One bite. So moist, juicy, so much flavor. Who needs a knife?
You don't even need this. It makes it easier to push all the rice and the meat onto the spoon. This is the main tool right here.
2 different rices. I did garlic, you did without the garlic. You said that garlic is a huge deal in Filipino food, right?
Yeah, almost everything has garlic.
This is gonna be tough to top for my favorite, I'm telling you. Pork sisig. Do you think Filipino food in general gets enough love in New York? I think it's a bit of an afterthought.
California, it's a huge community over there. It's nice to see that we have a Little Manila here, but I think there's so much room to showcase the culture, the food, and just overall the whole experience. Yeah, there's so much to experience.
It's also unfair in a way because there's 3 huge Chinatowns in New York and Little Manila. We've got one main block here and a few other places scattered, but it is growing, it's expanding, and there's a lot more opportunities for non-Filipinos like myself to come here, explore this, and try it out. Have you noticed more non-Filipinos coming in here?
Yeah, with like how social media is now, and it's helping the business out. Gets word out on like about Filipino food. I feel like right now it's not too known, but some people are catching up on it and, you know, trying it out.
To the kare-kare, my personal favorite. I grew up on this. Like my mom used to make this all the time. Peanut-based, super savory, and today we have oxtail and tripe.
Last time I had oxtail was in Queens and That's Deli, but that's more like Guyanese, Caribbean style. Never had Filipino style oxtail.
That's super different to the sandwich.
Yeah.
And check a look at that.
Add some rice, because as you said, rice with everything.
Yeah, and then you have to add a little bit of this on top. Very salty, not too much, just like a little dab. It's a fermented shrimp paste. We call it bagoong, that's how you say it.
Let's see. just disappeared. Remember what I said about the sisig? I don't know. Kari Kari's moving up my list right now. I don't know. I think it's because of the peanut sauce, personally.
You a big peanut guy?
Yes, I am.
Oh, dude, just
Peanut butter, pad thai, Kari Kari now.
Don't tell her, but I think this rivals my mom's, like for real. Like what I said earlier outside is like, you come here for the traditional dishes and it really tastes like you're eating it from home.
Johnny's mom, we're sorry. We know you're watching this, but...
Oh, she's probably gonna...
She wants to come here now to find out.
But yours is still the best, by a hair. So like I mentioned earlier, beef sinigang is tamarind soup. Very sour. Everybody loves it in the Philippines, super popular. Feels like you're at home. So the way I eat this, I put it on top, take some of your meat.
It feels like Filipino food. It's either you're Filipino or you have a good friend who's Filipino or you're a Filipino family, but I don't think enough people are going to explore it.
Other than that, I don't think you would get that intro unless you actually know something.
No, exactly. I'm just thinking, like, you're showing me all these intricacies here, so bring a Filipino friend or watch this video or ask them how to eat it just right.
Hit me up, I got you.
This is fun, yeah.
I put the fish sauce, like a little bit, super salty, like something like that, on top of the beef.
We're putting the rice on top of the beef. Okay. Let's do it. I'm feeling the sourness for sure. I've never had beef quite like this before, I have to say. A restaurant in New York with so much competition for food. If you've been around for 32 years, you're probably doing something right. And even looking around us as we've been eating here, it's been almost entirely Filipino or Filipino Americans eating here. So that's another stamp of approval, I have to say.
The neighborhood backs you, you're doing something right. Obviously you have good food, but you're bringing in nostalgia also.
What's your favorite thing about having this restaurant?
Meeting people, presenting the food that they enjoy, like a home, family.
A lot of our customers have been coming here for like years. They know me since I was like a little kid. I know some customers that were young at the time, grew up, have kids, get married.
Grand finale is dinuguan, this guy right here, or what we call chocolate meat.
Chocolate meat, best name ever for a dish, by the way.
Plot twist is not sweet at all. Acquired taste, we'll just stick to that.
I'll try it, I'm gonna try it. For the record, I have had balut before, okay, and that was by far the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my entire life, so I think this is gonna be better.
Balut is controversial, very infamous, but the country actually does love this. It's not like a split. Pork, you get jowl, you get heart, belly, ears. They simmer the blood for a long time, and that's how it gets that color.
You can try pork's blood in Queens. You're adventurous, which I'm trying to be today. Gonna go on, some rice. First time. I was waiting for a reason not to like it, but I like it. Like if you told me that this was just some regular pork dish, I probably wouldn't think twice. What would you say is the flavor profile?
Very strong on vinegar. You don't taste that chocolate.
No.
You know what I mean?
Nothing sweet about this.
I mean, we use vinegar on almost everything again. And garlic.
I think the rice is what's holding this all together. It's balancing out the vinegar flavor a little bit.
The broth itself is super rich.
Not my favorite thing of everything we had, but I could certainly eat it.
I've actually never tried balut as an adult. They forced me. I feel like it's religion in the Philippines, like you have to eat it.
It's like the bar mitzvah for Jews. You know?
There's actually a balut lady right outside Renee's. At 4 p.m. she's out there until like 11. So which one is your top favorite? Is it still sisig?
Sisig by a whisker. I like egg, and I like grilled stuff, like barbecue. It checks all the boxes for me.
Dude, if you go to the Philippines and like the first thing you say is like you ask for beer and sisig, you're accepted instantly. Yeah? You just be like, oh yeah, he knows.
Red Horse, I'm down.
There you go. Bro, you're more Filipino than I am, I think.
All right, Johnny, we've got a long walk next door to the next stop, Kabayan, and this place looks cool.
This is it, Kabayan. This is what you would call turo turo. Basically, it's like a Filipino bodega. You can get any types of food that they have available while also getting some groceries. And I want to bring you here because I want to show you some of my favorite street food snacks.
All right, I mean, where to begin? Now, I have to say, I've been to the Philam Mart before, so a little familiar with some of these things, but I've never been to the Philippines, so not really.
This is like one of our go-tos. Piato, I forgot how to pronounce it. I haven't had this in years, but cheese-flavored snack, like chips, pure nostalgia here.
You should come to Little Manila just for the snacks. What about the sweetbread?
Pandesal, a very go-to for breakfast.
Yeah.
Heat it up in the microwave, 10 seconds, put some butter on there. People put Spam or like corned beef, make it like a little sandwich out of it. This is like one of my go-to dessert.
Looks like apricots shaped like muffins.
Coconut shavings on top, and you take a bite of it. Kuchinta.
Kuchinta. It's always more fun in the Philippines. What I love is, you know, from the outside, you just see what looks like a little market, but we've got the food here. A lot of food.
So we'll get 2 pork barbecues. Oh, 2 kamote cubes, please.
Thank you so much. You know, I have to say, what a job we have. It's pouring rain, and we are standing under an awning next to the subway tracks in Little Manila. Life is good, and anything on a stick always tastes better.
Have you had this before?
Never had the Filipino version of this.
2 ingredients I think makes it unique to the Philippines. 1, 7-Up or Sprite in the marinade. If you don't have like a lemon or calamansi juice, Sprite, 7-Up is very acceptable. And the other thing is banana ketchup. That banana ketchup really puts us out there.
Cheers. This tastes a lot better than I expected, I'm telling you.
Anytime I have a birthday party or like any type of events like graduations, other than the lumpia, I go for this right away. If you're too late, it's the aunties, the uncles, your own parents, they'll take it from you.
So you're saying that like street food like this is such an ingrained part of Filipino culture?
Yeah, I would say so.
I've had pork on a stick, I've had beef on a stick. I've never had sweet potato on a stick. And this is an idea that I really think I can get behind.
We call it kamote.
Yeah.
Kamote Q, as in barbecue, caramelized with brown sugar. Sweet potato.
Let's try this.
There we go.
I'm just totally imagining a barbecue in the Philippines right now, and I'm just like eating all this.
If you're a vegetarian, go for this. You have options, just to let you know.
I think I like the sweet potato as much as I like the pork. Is that crazy? Because this reminds me of candied yams.
It really does. That's the perfect example for that.
We annihilated the sweet potato on a stick. Something important to point out to the viewers is that Little Manila is considered a micro neighborhood, which means not every restaurant in this 3 or 4 block radius is Filipino. Here you have a Filipino restaurant, and then next door you have Ecuadorian, and that's just the melting pot of New York. There's very few neighborhoods left that are purely one ethnic group.
So there's a mural over here, and there's a word in Tagalog, and it says mabuhay. That basically means it's a greeting. You can say, John, mabuhay, and then it's just like, good wishes.
Good wishes and welcome to Little Manila if you see that when you come through. 69th and Roosevelt.
Yes, right next to a Mexican.
Which I've eaten at in Jersey City, and that's a huge chain in the Philippines, right?
It is, it's a huge chain. It's right up there with Jollibee too.
All right, Johnny, we have shown the old school of the Philippines in New York, and now a little new school fusion for dessert.
So we're here at Purple Dough, and you'll find traditional desserts like leche flan or ube, but they have a twist to it, kind of like the cannolis, where they'll fill up the cannoli shell with ube. And I've never had that, so I'm super excited to try it actually.
I'm excited for this spot too. We gotta check this out. Oh, it smells amazing in here.
It smells so good.
I used to work corporate in the city. Just wanted time off for myself, so I thought I'm gonna open a business. I wanted a restaurant actually to begin with, but I realized the restaurant business is a little more tough. I didn't have to bake in general actually, to be honest with you. And from that point on, I kind of like learned how to bake here. And when we came up with a name, it just like, I just want something like a Filipino meaning with an English word in it. Starting with, I remember with vanilla and chocolate cupcakes. People started saying, how come you don't have ube since you're Purple Dough? So this is our signature item, the ube leche flan. My sisters and my mom, and kind of like give me ideas what to add in the item. And the first item also we came with, it's a leche flan. But how do we make it unique? How do we make it more palatable for everybody? So what we did is like, we cooked the leche flan and we actually added the cake on top. When we bake it like a flan first, then we add the cake halfway to the baking. Then eventually, when we had the other items, the ube became kind of like the central point. We have to add it on different mediums, like from the crinkle cookie, obviously. This little bakery shop in Forest Hills called Silk Cakes. It's a Korean-run bakery. And I used to visit her, and she had this like different flavors, from cherry blossom to Thai tea. At one point, she had ube. So I seen this idea before, but obviously, I wasn't copying at the time because I have no aspiration. Took like how they approach things.
Explain to us the cannolis here, because that's like so New York.
I took different inspiration, obviously. I didn't do the cannoli shells. I want to make sure it's done the Italian way. Yema, which is a custard cream we put on the mango and Thai tea. Did our own version, our own play on that.
New York is the world's biggest melting pot, and I love seeing combinations of things like this, especially the cannolis Mark was describing to us. I love cannolis. Grew up in North Jersey, super Italian part of the state. And cannoli with ube, mango, and coconut?
Coconut pandan, yeah.
So it's the perfect fusion, right?
It is, I love it. These 3 flavors perfectly describe and showcase the Philippines.
Tell everybody you gotta have at least one cannoli. Well, if you come to Little Manila, you gotta have an ube cannoli. You've never tried a cannoli like this, because I definitely have not.
No, I've never heard of Italian Filipino cannoli, so this is the first. I'm super excited.
Okay, let's rock.
It
the ube hit me right away. I mean, I never would have thought to do this.
I love the crunch.
Yeah.
Initial bite, crunch, and then all the flavor just smacks you right.
Worth a trip to Woodside alone for this.
I've never seen anything like this. It's a Filipino flan on top of an ube cake.
It's a buttercream icing. It's a Swiss Italian, really less sweet. Then we put obviously the ube in it. One customer told me it's like a chocolate potato. That's one of the, I think, you know. I mean, most of the time we say it tastes like taro.
Let's try this. Do it.
Wow, the ube flavor is a little difficult to describe, but sweet, kind of nutty. But with all the ways that he dressed this up, this is really good.
Different textures here. You got the flan, fluffy.
Oh, it's thick, you're right.
You have a thick cake on the bottom. Strong ube flavors in there too.
The ube and the flan balance each other out pretty well, I have to say. I have not lived in New York since the 90s, but since I have been coming to Little Manila for about 8 years, it changes every time I come. Even walking on this block here away from Roosevelt, I counted like 3 or 4 different Filipino eateries. So Little Manila slowly but surely is picking up. And I have to say, I think it's a real sleeper in New York.
Yeah, Filipinos, we need to expand a lot more in New York City. I think that we have a lot to offer with food, the culture, it's so vibrant, it's just so many things that we can offer to them.
We're going on the ultimate sandwich tour of Brooklyn, from old school Italian to some of the best pastrami in the city, and a deli going viral for delicious reasons. You don't want to miss this. We've got Greg back on the channel, native New Yorker and food guide. We are starting at David's Brisket House, and this is a sleeper pick for some of the best cured meats in the city.
It is. This is definitely under the radar. You know Katz's, you know 2nd Avenue Deli, Pastrami Queen. You may not know David's, but you will now.
I'm really excited to try this spot out.
It smells so good already.
It smells so good, and I love the vibes here. It's like an old school diner.
Yeah.
Wow. We are in the right place.
Oh yeah.
My name is Riyad Ghazali. David Brisket House originally goes back to the 1950s. When I came, I took over in 2010. We kept the same recipe, the same theme. I basically took over and I focused on the 3 items, pastrami, brisket, and corned beef, with just a limited amount of menu. We tried to cater to many people in terms of like price, budget. I did multiple sizes to try to attract more clientele. I'm a practicing Muslim. There's a sect of Muslims that will not eat anything unless it's not halal. The same thing, you have the Jewish community where they will not eat anything except it's kosher. And I needed to cater to them. So 2010, when I took over, we were neither halal or kosher. It really took me like about 5 to 6 years to figure out how to source it to get a halal. 2017, that's where we officially became halal. It's still kosher style, but I would never tell anybody it's kosher.
So do you think you've introduced a Muslim community to
I did,
food?
because there's not that many places like this. Probably like the only one that serves halal pastrami, brisket, and corned beef. We have people from all backgrounds. Americans, Africans, Asians, everybody walks in here. Typically it cooks for 4 or 5 hours, and then we have a little cook the pastrami also for like 3 hours on tight lid. Corned beef, same process, it goes about 4 hours. Basically we don't do anything to it, we just add the seasoning and that's it. Typically use a slice machine. People use a knife to cut the pastrami. To me, I feel better to cut it with a slice machine where you could kind of measure the slice and adjust it to the liking of the customer. So this is the rye with mustard and the corned beef, the pastrami on a rye. Brisket corned beef, this is brined for about a week, cured until it changes color. This one is boiled, a little bit of acidity, but at the same time not overpowering. Then this one over here, we marinate it overnight and then we bake it in the oven for 4 or 5 hours. You're gonna taste the rub, and you're gonna taste the vegetables as well, and the brine that is cooked in. Now this one is the thinner portion of the brisket. It's cured, it's seasoned, it's frozen, it's then baked, then steamed. It has more flavor than pastrami because of the seasoning. You could tell that they're all the same cut, but different flavor profile.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
One of the best things about David's Brisket House, they offer you different size sandwiches. You don't have to spend $26 for a mountainous serving of pastrami. Or whatever your appetite, whatever your budget, you can find it here. This is some of the most flavorful pastrami I've ever had in my entire life. I'm telling you, like just that first bite, I'm in love.
Those flavors there, it tastes maybe a little bit of coriander in there. And that rye bread, you really get a nice flavor from that too. Pastrami texture itself kind of crumbles. You know it's using a machine, it's a thicker sliced pastrami, excellent.
I think Riyad was a little generous with me because this sandwich is falling apart, which is a sign that I need to eat this faster, but wow, I could devour this pretty quickly.
This pastrami really is just leading off hot. I'm telling you, I've always been a Katz guy, but David's Brisket House, I've been here a few times before. It's always been like right there for me. Really good value.
Human-sized portion, that's the key, because you really do think of that huge sandwich experience at like a Katz's or a Sarge's, but this is a sleeper pick and a half. I'm taking off the toothpick, I'm going in for more. This is definitely up there for me with a Katz's, a Sarge's Deli, and now if you're in Brooklyn, I'm gonna say David's Brisket House for the pastrami, for some of the best pastrami in the city.
Just enough mustard on there too, just enough to complement the meat and the bread.
This is halal meat, kosher style, a Muslim-owned business selling historically Jewish food in an African-American neighborhood. If this isn't New York, I don't know what is.
Very local community vibe, and even he said he likes to keep the prices, the smaller sandwiches at a manageable price.
He knew all the customers, he knew their orders the second they walked in. They've kept a crisp business running. It's not a Jewish deli experience unless you got a pickle.
Gotta have the pickles.
Just the right amount of sour. Doc Brown's celery. You can't go wrong with any Dr. Brown's coming to a deli.
Look at that, Brooklyn Bridge in there, how appropriate.
And you said you've never tried it before.
No, and it does not taste like celery at all.
No.
So if the name scares you off, don't. It actually is really good. Very refreshing.
I'm gonna try the corned beef. He's gonna try the famous brisket.
Brisket, I mean, it's already really seeping through the bread. The bread's almost falling apart here because they dip the beef in the cooking juice, the au jus. So you have the sliced brisket, and this is not your Texas barbecue style brisket. This is a whole nother animal. Not really, technically, right? But the same animal, different style. Much more subtle. Really has kind of like a home-cooked, like comforting kind of food taste to it.
If you weren't from New York and you didn't know about this spot and you saw David's Brisket House, you might think it's a barbecue spot, right? We have the corned beef here. Equally as popular, I think, as the pastrami. And look at this mound of meat. Even for the medium size, I think you're getting an incredible value here. Big bite. I'm salivating looking at this. It's calling my name. It's a lot softer, it's a lot more tender than the pastrami. It's a little more subtle. I don't even know which one I like more. I think I like the pastrami a little bit more because I'm into that flavor, but you cannot go wrong with this corned beef either. I don't think you can go wrong with any of this stuff.
Yeah, it just steps away from the AC train or the LIRR. It definitely reaffirms it's one of my favorite pastramis in the city.
I'm blown away by how good this was. I'm a Sarge's Deli fan, my top pastrami corned beef, but these guys are in the equation now. Greg, next up we've got DeFonte's in Red Hook, and I think if you looked up the definition in a dictionary of old school Italian deli, this spot will pop up.
Absolutely, this spot's been in business over 100 years, and look at the clientele, catering to the blue collar workers here, a lot of firefighters, police. This is a real Brooklyn institution right here.
Well, when there's a line out the door, you know you've come to the right spot, huh? I think we have like half the FDNY and NYPD here as well. Yep. And those guys can eat.
So I just rewatched the whole Sopranos again for like the third time, and it's got me really in the mood for a sandwich here. We got Tony, gotta get some gabagool.
The whole cast was here. I'm a Jersey boy, I love the Sopranos.
How you doing? Can I get one Golden Boy special, one Chenzo 13, please? Small, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That moved a lot quicker than I expected.
I know. Fish Friday, they do seafood only on Friday today. Shrimp, calamari, a lot of people ordering that today.
Got a huge crowd, but we got tons of meat here and some of the best sandwiches in Brooklyn.
Beautiful car.
The New Yorker. So our camera guy, James, actually had the interesting idea for us to try to find the waterfront and film there. That's what we're doing.
I feel like this is like in Sopranos when they have like a mob sit down, a mob meeting just like right in the middle of nowhere.
We're gonna be breaking bread, all right.
We are gonna be breaking bread.
Here we've got the Golden Boy, and I knew from the second I read that menu, this is what I was gonna order. It's chicken cutlet, melted fresh mozzarella, vodka sauce, and prosciutto, okay? You know this is gonna hit.
So I got the Chenzo 13 that's got prosciutto, sopressat has fresh mozzarella, roasted hot peppers, broccoli rabe, which I love, extra virgin olive oil, balsamic glaze.
Greg, actually, I think this is fitting us filming on the waterfront because DeFonte's opened in 1922 as a spot for Italian longshoremen to eat. So this is exactly the way they would do it.
It's appropriate. And look at this, you can't really beat this view right now. I mean, you don't get the skyline, but you get Lady Liberty, get Staten Island Ferry going by, you get the Verrazano Bridge right there.
It's not the classic tourist view, but it's still an amazing view.
Absolutely.
And speaking of amazing views, I mean, these sandwiches, they're just calling out to us. Oh man, it's had some time for like the juices and flavors to soak into the bread. Oh, so let's rock. The chicken cutlet and vodka sauce was enough. Adding the prosciutto on top, a little saltier, just a perfect combination.
The soppressata and the prosciutto is just enough saltiness, not too overwhelming. Then you have that creamy fresh mousse coming in really nicely. Get a little sweetness from the balsamic glaze, a little bitterness from the broccoli rabe, and then those peppers in there also being soaked up with that bread.
Cannot sleep on bread in an Italian deli like that. I got the hot sandwich, you got the cold one, so you want to take this home to Jersey. Good to go. You want to walk to the park, this holds up. I just love the layers to this thing.
I think an underrated part about a good sandwich is really just the assembly of it. I mean, you can see just they're experts at making this and just how they layer it and how it's all put together. It's a work of art.
Definitely. You have to know what you're doing. It's like you can't just have good ingredients. They are good sandwich makers there as well. And we saw how busy they were. They do this all day, okay? So they know what's up. I think a lot of people think of like New York, New Jersey as the big Italian pizza hub for Italian Americans. But before pizza even became huge in the US in the 1950s, these sandwiches were around first. This had way more influence than pizza did.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact it's so portable, see blue-collar workers come in and out, big brown paper bag, taking a sandwich with them for lunch.
The extra added experience of being right on the waterfront here. Enter the Liberty Warehouse and walk directly to the waterfront. Tons of benches here. And then go explore Red Hook. Red Hook's a super underrated neighborhood in Brooklyn that a lot of people don't know about. We're talking mob business here.
On the waste management, 30%.
25, all right. If you are visiting New York and you don't know where to eat, you've got to take Greg's street food tour of Queens. I've had viewers tell me it is one of the best experiences they had visiting New York. Check the QR code or link in the description. Definitely take that tour.
Love to see you. See you soon.
Greg, we've got Farmer in the Deli, and this spot is absolutely blowing up on social media right now.
It is. I've been seeing them chop up the sandwiches. It looks like a total show we're gonna get in the process of getting this sandwich. So let's see what it's all about.
They don't make sandwiches, they build them. Like barbecue chips. Part of the shtick here is you gotta get chips to get chopped up in your sandwich. You can already hear the chopping going on in front of us. I wanna do the chopped turkey roll. Can I toss you the chips? Toss you, yeah.
Pretty cool experience. I like how seamlessly he just like placed the bread underneath it. It was already ready to go.
All right, we got a little show. Now we're gonna see how this tastes. Greg, I know that you were a little bit skeptical of it. I gotta tell you, it actually looks pretty good. It looks more like a tuna sandwich to me than it does a turkey sandwich with how chopped up it is. They've been open for over 20 years, so I don't know how long the chopping shtick has been going on, but they've absolutely been like everywhere on social media, so.
Seen the ones on Instagram with the mayo, it kind of look like slop, but this looks a lot better. There's no mayo in it.
We got the honey turkey, lettuce, tomato, Swiss cheese,
spicy mustard,
vinegar, pepper.
Yeah, on a roll.
On a roll. Better than I expected.
Spicy mustard is key here. I think if this was with mayo, I think I really would not have enjoyed it.
It's like the mom cutting up the food for the toddler. Like I have a toddler at home. We don't chop up his food this finely, but oh, look at that. It easily falls out too.
You know, I was just about to say, I think it actually keeps everything together better this way, but I might be wrong about that.
I proved him wrong. Even though you can order tuna there, just like having a really finely sliced up turkey, I'm getting a lot of the mustard though. Like I'm noticing it more than ever.
Me too.
So it's like you're mixing up the condiments a little bit more than normal, because typically you got mustard, it's just on one side of the bread or the other. Have you noticed any of the chips, by the way?
You know, I was just about to mention that we kind of neglected to talk about. You can grab any chips or Cheetos, anything you want, like Akiway style. You literally throw it to the guy behind the counter to make it. I had a couple of crunchy bites in here from those chips. Little bits in there. I'm getting them like very subtle in the taste department, more in the texture department.
Now I got the barbecue chips and it's adding a lot more flavor to it. The line is slow because you have a bit of an interaction with your sandwich maker there. People are very specific about what they want. Spend 10, 15 minutes chatting with them.
It is a very local favorite there. You can tell it's an institution in the neighborhood.
But heck, man, I think we keep looking back to the Akiway. He's like the godfather of these crazy sandwiches, right?
Makes you a sandwich you can't refuse, right?
And I have to say, of all three, this is by far the most unique and different of the sandwiches. And we're both saying how much this is kind of growing on us. Like it's messing with our minds a little bit, like your typical sensations of eating a sandwich. But mean, don't knock it till you try it.
That's the thing. I think the way it's all chopped up really makes it seem like hefty. Something about it. Like when you take bites, you're getting bites of everything. Kind of well evenly distributed, I have to say.
It's like a really chopped up salad. Sometimes you see stuff like that. They'll chop everything up, but in sandwich form, I mean, lately in New York, what can you not put in a sandwich, right?
The cool thing about today with like all 3 sandwich spots, Jewish style deli, those halal, and we went to a classic Italian deli for Italian sandwiches and really more of your classic corner store deli, like bodega style.
We got something for everybody here.
Today we're on a mission to taste test New York's highest rated food trucks. Are they as good as everyone says? Let's find out. Starting with Disso's Italian Sandwich Society, New York's only Italian deli on wheels. Best sandwich ever. Feels like I'm back in Italy. Totally recommend. Friendly people and great service with great food. What else to ask? So I'm reviewing Disso's only to take a moment to say it's the best Italian sandwich I have eaten, and I've eaten a ton in my life. The quality of meats, the mozzarella, the bread, nothing is more satisfying. Sally balls and Fat Pete are delicious. This truck is right next to my new office and is already a favorite of mine. So you can see they've got rave reviews from the office workers who are hungry, and now I'm hungry.
How can I help you today?
Yeah, I would love to get one of the Big Paulies, and then I want to do a Carmine. I want to do the spicy chicken, and can we make it Don Fanucci size?
Sure, that's one of our biggest sandwich.
Okay, I'm excited, I'm hungry.
We're gonna start with the Big Poli with the brick oven rustic Italian. We're gonna add some farm cheese and fresh basil. Here we're gonna have our homemade marinara sauce. We're gonna have the fresh mozzarella. This is one of the most popular.
Then this is not the biggest sandwich, this is the normal sandwich.
Yeah, the normal one. Right now we got our biggest sandwich. This is called the Don Fanucci, and we're gonna do the chipotle aioli, the spicy honey, pickles, and arugula. We're gonna add some grilled onions, our spicy soppressata, and provolone cheese. And then boom. This is it. This is gonna be for the Carmine. Here we're gonna have our homemade marinara sauce, broccoli rabe, fresh mozzarella. We're gonna add some mortadella and our breaded chicken.
I think the Don Fanucci is at least 5 pounds, by the way. Oh my goodness. Gonna need a workout after I eat this, and to eat this is a workout.
You have another sandwich here as a bonus, okay?
You threw another one in? Oh my God, thank you guys so much. All right, we're taking our seat on 6.5 Ave, New York's hidden street. I want to start with the spicy chicken Don Fanucci because this thing's insane. They let me in on a secret, the Don Fanucci. Tell me in the comments if you know where that reference comes from. It's a secret menu item. They didn't have it listed. The owner told me about it. They said this is the largest Italian sandwich in New York. I don't know if it's the largest, but it's definitely the largest one you can get on a food truck. Oh my goodness, look at this. I think I would need a week to eat this thing. Starting off, we've got the grande ciabatta bread, chicken cutlet, hot soppressata, provolone cheese, grilled onions, arugula pickles, spicy honey, chipotle aioli spread. This thing has a little bit of everything. This is our first stop, so I'm not gonna pretend like I'm gonna finish all this, but this will go to good use. To my cameraman James and my wife Adriana and myself later. It'll be eaten eventually. More manageable when you split it into 4. If you just got this for lunch, I think you'd be okay. Look how stacked this is. Oh, this is calling to me. Let me take a big bite. The grande ciabatta. The flavor of that bread and the crunch, it leads you into all the other ingredients, and somehow this just works. Chicken cutlet, nice and tender, good flavor, provolone cheese, never going wrong with that. Spicy soppressata, not that hot, little spicy, just the right balance of ingredients here. Nobody talked about the Don Fanucci in the ratings I saw, but they should. I think this would be good for a little office party. Ooh, look at this. Oh wow, the Big Polly. Oh, I can smell the mozzarella. I smell the sauce already. I love the whole, like, it's an Italian secret society. They have mafia nicknames for a lot of their sandwiches. It's very clever. And this isn't even the biggest sandwich they have. Look how stacked this is. So we've got breaded chicken cutlet parm, fresh mozz, homemade marinara, shaved Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, fresh basil, okay? On the brick oven rustic Italian bread. My mouth is watering. Let's see if I can get this all in one big bite.
This is the most Italian-American sandwich you could possibly get. Chicken parm, there's layers of it, and the mozz on top and the marinara sauce. So many flavors going on. I love the bread too. It's so soft. This would be what I would order for lunch if I was having a really rough day at the office, or I was just walking by as a tourist, and I wanted that classic New York Italian experience. That's the thing with Italian sandwiches, they never go out of style. They've been around so long. This one's gonna be tough to top. All right, we have the Carmine, which is a slight variation of the Big Paulie. Chicken cutlet, mortadella, broccoli rabe, fresh mozzarella, homemade marinara. Let's see if the broccoli rabe makes the difference here. Oof, look at this. It's like Big Paulie's cousin, you know, a guy who knows a guy. That's a great thing about a spot like Diso's. You're not getting skimped on ingredients. This is the Italian deli experience, even as a food truck. So, all right, let's see if my mouth can fit over all this in one bite. It's not as intense as the Big Paulie. I think the broccoli calms it down a little bit, but doesn't have those same like intense tomato flavor notes with the cheese, but equally good. My favorite thing about this type of sandwich is just how the bread soaks in all of the sauce and the juices. I understand the Diso's praise right now. They actually have multiple locations, so you have to check their website to like where they're gonna be on a certain day, which I find exciting because different people in different neighborhoods can try them. But I've never recommended an Italian deli food truck before. They're the only one in the city, and I say try them out for sure. I'm impressed. Tony Dragon's Grill, another place I absolutely love the name, and people rave about this spot. Want to eat a burger in New York? Go here. Definitely go. I went 3 times during my trip to New York. Eat everything. Tony Dragon's takes truck food to a whole new level. The food does not disappoint. The chicken has always been tender in all the dishes I've ordered. They are great for team lunches. I order from my desk and the orders are done within 15 minutes. Lamb gyro was the best I've ever had. Explosion of flavors. Will definitely come back for more. Oof, okay, I'm pumped.
My name is Konstantinos Dragonis. I'm the son of Tony. We use the freshest, highest quality ingredients possible, and we do not compromise on the taste. The truck actually started as a small stainless steel wagon in 1986. My father started out selling pretzels and hot dogs. He started adding a grill to the little hot dog cart, and it started to get bigger, and he started selling chicken breast and burgers. Now it's expanded into a truck, and we do all kinds of bowls, sandwiches, and all kinds of fresh proteins. The typical customer at Tony Dragon's is white collar, blue collar, no collar, everybody. We operate in the Upper East Side. The spectrum is so wide.
Awesome, yeah, I'd love to try the ribeye steak and chicken bowl. And could I also do the 7-ounce gypsy burger?
We got our brioche bun with fresh melted mozzarella. This burger features mayonnaise. And the star of the show is our chili moni, house-made tomato jalapeno puree. We make it from scratch every morning. It's a little spicy, but not too much. Top it off with a little bit of salt. Gonna close that up for you. It's a little messy, but it's worth it.
Messy is always worth it. These guys are busy. You can see they're a neighborhood staple. So we have the gypsy burger, 7 ounces. You know that the meat quality here is elevated over your typical food truck. Messy might be an understatement, but we're gonna make it work. There's no classy way to eat this, so we're just gonna take a big bite. I don't know if it's the chili moni or how tender and juicy this burger is, but that is one of the most unique burgers I've ever tried in my entire life. I don't know if I've ever used the words, a burger melts in your mouth, but this burger actually does that. The combination of flavors going on, I gotta tell you, I actually had not heard of this truck, and I've looked up best burgers in New York before, and I know they've been on some lists. I'm kind of ashamed that I've never tried this before as a burger fan. This is the kind of burger that you would expect to be served at some higher end restaurant, and here it is at a food truck 1 block from Central Park. This is amazing. Absolute home run.
My name is John. I'm from California. I'm a gypsy from California. Chili moni started, I guess, years ago when our family all made it for barbecues, steaks. It consists of tomatoes, grilled peppers, jalapeno peppers, garlic, oil, salt, pepper, I think a little bit of butter. It's a must-have when we make barbecues and stuff, and I came all the way from California just to come try the truck because it's the best burger, personally, to me, in the world. From what I remember, a gypsy guy came, I think when they first opened up, he was like, hey, you guys should make a burger with this thing we make called chili moni. Showed him how to make it, and then it kind of was a success and it blew up from here on out.
We're gonna make the chicken and steak grouping bowl, which is a really popular dish. So we got the arugula in the bowl. We're gonna come over to the station of rice, add the rice in there. He's putting the ribeye steak on the grill. He's gonna sear that on both sides. Ideally, we like to pull that at a medium rare and then cut it up. Salt and pepper, chicken breasts. Slice it up the way he does. We use very high quality ribeye steak, equivalent to steakhouse quality. Our chicken breast is famous for how succulent it is. Top it off right there with some tomato and cucumber. And he's gonna apply our vinaigrette, which is our house-made vinaigrette. We even have bottled it up and we sell it by popular demand. That's our house-made tzatziki sauce, features yogurt, cucumber, and dill. Voila.
That Gypsy Burger is going to be a tough act to follow, but we've got the ribeye and chicken bowl. I like what they're doing here because you've got something really healthy. You've also got that Greek touch to it. Nice and tender. I'm telling you, this meat is better than some meat I've had at steakhouses. It should be Tony Dragon's Steakhouse, not Tony Dragon's Grill. Open up a steakhouse, I'll come. With the tzatziki sauce, that Greek flair from the grilled chicken. We could put this on a stick, like chicken souvlaki. It would kill. They're really doing almost the impossible here. You're putting incredible, juicy meat into a healthy bowl. Who does that? Usually when I'm eating something healthy, the taste is kind of secondary. But here it's about the taste first, and then you realize, this is a healthy meal too. I'm a fan, so good. Here's the play, you go to Tony Dragon's Grill, take your food to go and walk to Central Park. Or just come here, period, because this really is a hidden gem. We've got Casa Birria on the Upper East Side. There are so many birria trucks in Manhattan, but very few have 4.7 on Google. Everything is simple, flavorful, fresh, and affordable. Cannot go wrong with this little truck. Friendly and always happy to make a recommendation. The Melita is delicious, crispy cheese and beefy goodness. Probably the best birria in Manhattan. If you like beef, then try birria. The meat is juicy and tender. Amazing birria tacos. I've had plenty of tacos in my life from all over the country, but this one is definitely at the top of my list. Strong words. I love birria. Let's give it a go. Hey, how are you? I wanted to get the birria combo with consomme. Everything, yeah, con piping hot. Definitely looks good. Look at this consomme, guys. Cilantro, onions. We got everything in there. And we got birria tacos with the salsa on top. We're doing this in true Upper East Side fashion. We've got a nice doorman building to my right and a doorman building to the left. Birria tacos in the middle. Very colorful, smell amazing too. Let me put a little lime on top. Look at that. Birria tacos really blew up on the New York food scene, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago. Now I feel like you could find them on just about every corner of the city. You dunk this corn tortilla, you dunk it in the consomme, and you enjoy. Juicy, tender. It's passing all the tests that I would, generally have for a birria taco. And I've had all the really famous ones in the city. You know what I like about this one? The tortilla, nice and crunchy. Upper East Side, wow. Didn't think this spot would be hiding up here. Is this the best birria taco I've had in my life, including going to Mexico? No. Is this the best birria taco I've had in New York? Also, gonna say no. Is this very good? Oh, heck yeah. If I lived in the Upper East Side, would I come here once a week? Very, very likely. Wherever you're watching from. Are birria tacos now a thing in your city too? Because this was originally like hangover food in Mexico for brunches. My wife Adriana has explained to me all about that. This is what you want out of a birria taco. This is neighborhood people loving their spot. Totally respect that. I definitely approve this. If you're wondering, my all-time favorites in New York, I'm gonna go with Birrialandia, then Nene's Taqueria. Very, very close second. These guys would be in the equation though, definitely top 5. So this is the most unassuming food truck in a neighborhood that's just lined with them. I ordered the lamb and chicken shawarma. Thank you. This spot has an almost flawless 4.9 on Google and 0 social media presence. Wow, this place is amazing, an absolute gem of a find, so close to Times Square. Moody was working the truck and has the best customer service. Such a nice guy, and the food is incredible. I've had street food all over New York City. Trust me, this is one of the best places ever. Best biryani, best chicken, crispiest fries ever. You'd be nuts to stand in a Dell's line when this is around the corner. Better, faster, more options, and a no-brainer. Wow, those are some fighting words right there. Wow. This is a lot of white sauce. This is your typical halal food in New York. For those who don't know what halal is, it's food made under Islamic law. The halal guys, I would say, popularized it quite a bit. Now there's hundreds of trucks doing it. Everybody has their favorite, and from the looks of it, this could be interesting. $14, and I think I got the entire food truck on one plate, from the French fries on top to the biryani rice buried underneath. chicken, lamb, veggies, white sauce, a little hot sauce. This is New York halal food, essentially. You could really put this in like in a textbook. I think we got some lamb. I'm gonna take a few bites. Lamb's tender, juicy, okay. Hot sauce, actually hot. Try some of the chicken. Tender. This is just one of those meals, if you ordered, I think you'd be happy. I don't know if it's going to be generating the kind of buzz like an Adele's, which we've covered before, which is still my favorite halal food in all of New York. They're a bit controversial right now because the wait is like an hour or two, unless you arrive right as they open at 5 o'clock. One of the best meals you can bring back to your hotel room. This is just like a symphony of flavors going on. This is one of those meals that just grows on you the more you eat it. It didn't blow me away. First bite, wasn't love at first bite, but it's love after bite number 10. This is what New York halal is really all about. I talked to the employee, I said, where's the food from? Middle East. How long have you been around? Long time. It's a New York conversation right there. I had a feeling when he was that sort of terse, it was gonna be good. I feel like I've tried just about every single ingredient on this. I think the white sauce is a little bit sweeter than I'm used to. I think the 4.9 rating on Google, I think it's like their loyal, hardcore fan base. Do I think it's a 4.9? No, I'm not ranking places today. I wouldn't say no if you brought me this, although there are other halal trucks around here, which I do prefer. Again, Adele's, if you're willing to wait an hour or two, and Royal Halal, which we've covered in the past as well. Also like better, a little bit different style, of course, but it's good enough.
Sometimes the best food isn't even on the menu. Today I'll be sharing some of New York's best secret menu items so you feel like an insider. Here we go. This is a Here Be Bar exclusive. I've never seen anybody mention La Villa Pizzeria. Now normally a spot like this, you can only order Italian food or pies. You don't have the opportunity to get slices, but La Villa has a little secret on the inside if you want a good slice. Here we go. Hi, how are you? We're here for the slices, actually. I'll just do two thin crust regulars. Thank you so much. Yeah. You know, I actually discovered this by accident. Was eating with my family outside, nice Italian meal, and I saw a guy walk out the door with a slice. I'm thinking, how did he get a slice from here? And then I asked them and I found out all about this. Park Slope's best kept secret, perhaps. You're getting a slice from a wood fire oven that normally only shoots out pies. Look how well made this is. Oh, it's not your average cheese slice in New York, no. High quality ingredients all around. Love the char on the back of this, by the way. They know what they're doing here. In fact, I don't know if I've ever met someone even in the neighborhood who I've told about this who heard of it. I obviously like this too much. I've been out of the city for almost a month, so it's really hit different. Nice people, and for the record, as an Italian restaurant, I would also consider this a hidden gem for Brooklyn. They hit this out of the park today. Slices are on offer every day, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They got a lot of different options. Eat it here or take it to go. I want to personally thank everybody for helping us raise over $80,000 for Ben the Cameraman's cancer treatment. If you still want to contribute to that GoFundMe, see the link down below in the description. Again, thank you all so very much from the bottom of my heart. All right, Chelsea Market, New York's worst kept secret. I might work here, look. I get paid to do this. This place always swarmed with tourists. Here we are. Los Tacos #1. We have covered them time and time again, but we have never revealed their secret taco until today. Obviously, Los Tacos #1 is no secret to anybody.
Take a picture with you?
Sure.
My husband and I watch you all the time. I saw the camera and I'm like, wait a minute, I know him. I'm actually here because you have mentioned
All right, can I get 2 of the queso adobadas? 1 regular adobada, 1 regular nopal?
It's part of our secret menu.
I know, that's what I'm here for.
For the 2 tacos, you want a corn or flour tortilla?
Corn.
With everything?
Con todo, yeah.
Queso, tacos, everything, no?
Everything, give me everything.
Queso, tacos, adobada, taco adobada.
Muchas gracias. I can smell that cheese. If you're a cheese fan, you're gonna love this. Imagine this, Monterey Jack cheese is your taco shell. Melted onto the plancha. We've got the adobada pork, pineapple, salsa, guacamole, onion, cilantro, turning into this. One of the more unique tacos I think you can get in New York City. I've heard about this for a while. I've actually never tried it. Now for $7, this is kind of monstrous. Look. I thought we were gonna have a cheese pull for a second. This is absolutely humongous. This looks like the perfect hangover cure. Take a big bite. And Monterey Jack cheese flavors smacked me in the face. It's bold. This is a bold taco. Look at this cheese tortilla shell. Look how thick that is. I would advise ordering some of their other tacos as well. I wouldn't get all queso tacos. A, they're more expensive at $7, and B, it's so strong, so salty that it could be a little bit difficult to eat a few of these, but just one, maybe to impress your friends, you know, the secret menu. The lady also told me they have a vampiro on their secret menu, so next time I may try that. I'll be honest, I think I prefer the regular tacos, but I'm a taco purist in that regard. I don't need to have it all polished up, but if you want to do the secret menu, I say go for it. As for the regular, my go-to, always con todo. My wife Adriana from Mexico, super picky about tacos in New York. She always approves Los Tacos #1. So do I. I feel like they're in one of my videos every 3 to 6 months. This last secret menu item brings us to Soho. Inside of this classic French restaurant lies a secret that only a select few can partake in on any given day. They open at 5 o'clock and we are here right at the opening. We're gonna start with a drink. The kitchen actually doesn't open until 5:15. Tequila Negroni. They only serve 12 of these burgers per day. And you have to sit at the bar where there's only 9 seats. All right, so what we have here is a brisket burger wrapped in peppercorn, pan-seared on the grill, served medium rare, topped with St. Andre cheese, as well as watercress, pickles, red onion, blended in a house dressing. I've never had this before. Special thanks to Norma Helly, my friend and fellow YouTuber in Las Vegas, for putting this in a video and tipping me off for this. We have a challah bun with Amy's bread on top. Here we go. It's so good. If you like peppercorn flavor especially, that French meat, this is it for you. And we're gonna dip it in the au poivron sauce. All right, let's see what this is. They cook these burgers on the same grills that they cook their filet mignons or expensive steaks. And the au poivron sauce, it's like I'm eating juicy steak with that on top. I don't know if it even needs the sauce, but takes it to another level. Not to be forgotten, this is a French restaurant. They know what they're doing fries. I feel like you could dip anything in this sauce and it would be fantastic. They've already served 6 out of the 12 they're allowed to serve every single night in the first 30 minutes. So if you're not here right away, you're not gonna get this. My favorite thing about this burger is that with everything going on here, you can still taste the meat. I've had a lot of crazy burgers in my life where there's so much sauce, there's so many toppings going on that you lose touch of the meat, you lose the texture, you lose the flavor, but the meat is leading the way here. Love the challah bun, but it is all about the quality meat. And this French bistro burger, which is probably one of the best secret menu items in all New York City. You know, a lot of people who visit New York by themselves ask me, where can I go out? Maybe you don't want to feel awkward at a table. I think this would be a good spot for a solo dinner, a solo adventure. Get here early, bartenders are friendly, patrons next to me, all super friendly as well, waiters friendly. And one of the best secret menu items in the city, and maybe one of the best burgers. So the damage was $30
per burger. I would actually pay that again for all that food, for the quality of the meat. Although if I came back here, I think I would bring the wife, like have a nice romantic evening, but you do have a great option for one of the top burgers in the city. Yeah, this one's definitely worth it.
All right, we've got Luis with me. He's gonna be joining me for this adventure. And Cuts and Slices, have you heard the hype here?
Yeah, man, I've heard they're doing some crazy things with pizza. They got some really out-of-the-box toppings. I'm excited to check it out.
Let's do it.
In 2018, we started with just this right here. This was the entire location of Cuts and Slices. Coming into this industry, we knew that it really wasn't
for us.
For us, you know what I'm saying? We see that, you know, who runs the industry, the pizza industry, but we know that we love pizza and we wanted to put a spin on pizza.
You used to walk in here, there was a counter right here. You would walk in, this was the entire shop. But this was it. You would walk in, take your order, and step out.
Originally, I told him, you know, if you're gonna do it, it needs to be something that's
Completely
unique.
different, unique.
Because who's gonna come to a black man's pizza shop? You know, that's not traditionally how pizza is made, you know?
We started thinking out the box and thinking of things that we love to eat and putting those toppings on pizza. We pretty much just started releasing pies, how sneakers were being released at the time, because that was my background, my other business before Cuts and Slices. I had a sneaker business. I was like, you know what? Let's start doing like limited drops. So we're doing like pies only. I think the first limited pie that we did, we numbered the pie. We did 25 pies and we sold out that day. And when that person bought that last pie, it was a line of people behind him trying to buy the slices.
From him.
From him. Yeah. That's when I knew we really had something. That's when I knew it was something special. So that's why I'm like, you know what? This might really set us apart from other pizzerias. Specialty pizzas, gourmet, we're using quality ingredients, the best of the best. Like we have a shrimp and lobster black truffle Alfredo slice. We do it fried and we do it sauteed. That slice gets fresh Parmesan. We get imported fresh truffles weekly, flown in, you know what I'm saying? So
That's
it's like,
a big thing. People are like, why am I
people
paying
like,
this
why am I
much for a
paying
slice?
$18 for a slice? Because it's quality ingredients that's going on that slice. We have the cheese slice for you
Yeah.
for $3.50,
Yeah.
you know, like everybody else. And our slice is better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, Luis, what are you gravitating towards? And we have so many crazy choices here. I don't even know where to begin. Like my taste buds right now, I'm salivating.
Man, I'm looking at all the oxtails at the bottom. They also have jerk chicken, which looks delicious.
I'm moving this way towards like the lobster and shrimp black truffle Alfredo. Oof.
Curry chicken, teriyaki oxtail, brown stew oxtail, curry oxtail, sweet chili oxtail, and you got both of the shrimp and lobsters here.
That just looks expensive.
So when people ask us like, why is this slice $18? Like, bro, shrimp, lobster, fresh truffle, fresh Parmesan.
So if you want to know what all of this costs, take to go, 101.42. Take credit card, right? Okay.
Wow, man. All the different colors. I've never had a pizza like this before.
Maybe seen shrimp before, but like some of this stuff, oxtail, first time.
These are shoes that we designed. Cuts and Slices for my Adidas. Shout out to Adidas, gave us a chance to design these and represent New York.
Can you envision how popular your shop would become like on the internet when you started?
Definitely not.
No way.
We dreamt of how we expected it to be maybe 10 years down the line. Because, you know, you think every time in this industry, when you talk to people and you speak to people, they've been doing pizza for 30, 40 years and they never have a line, but they're known.
Cuts and Slices has celeb fans like Sean Kingston, rapper Lil Yachty, celebrity chef Sonny Anderson, and Questlove.
In each of these boxes is $100 worth of pizza. And I gotta tell you, I'm excited.
Man, these things are heavy.
Oh yeah. Randy wanted us to remind everyone that the lines aren't as bad as they used to be even a year ago, and they opened a second location in Queens if it's closer to you. We're gonna take our first bite. We saw all this prep. I got the lobster and fried shrimp Alfredo with black truffle on top, 20 bucks, the most expensive slice on the menu.
And I have the sweet chili oxtail. This is their most popular slice on the menu.
You can't even fold this like a New York slice.
No,
These are built so sturdy. I'm shocked everything is like holding together here.
Yeah, this is definitely does not pass the flop test.
All right, let's give this a go. You know, my first bite,
I didn't even get any lobster or any fried shrimp. I just got the black truffle Alfredo sauce, and I'm already in love with this. And I haven't even gotten to the expensive stuff yet. What about you?
Dude, this is super flavorful. It's not really spicy, but there's a lot of flavor going on here.
I think I just got my first bite of some of the lobster. Man, this is not something that I normally would expect on a pizza, but I gotta tell you, it's impressing me. Now I need some of this fried shrimp. I mean, look at the Alfredo hanging on this. This is like going to a gourmet restaurant and just putting it all on your pizza.
So I got a question for you. Is it worth 20 bucks?
The way they do it, yes. Are you gonna come here every day for lunch? No. Are you gonna make a special trip here to support a really cool local business? Hell yes.
I mean, I can see why it's popular.
You know, Luis, as we dig more into this, you're someone that for a living shows a lot of viral spots on TikTok and Instagram. Do you feel like that's where the city's going right now? You gotta do something extreme to get attention?
I think so, man. As sad as it sounds, people are really just not as excited anymore to go out and have dinner. They're really looking to try new things, whether that's a combination of different cuisines or an experience where you can go and you can have a show and dinner at the same time. Then that's kind of where things are going, because people are just not looking to go and have a simple meal anymore.
You know what this reminds me of a lot? Like good family vibes? That's Deli in Queens.
Yeah.
What they were doing with like the oxtail, mac and cheese, and that went really viral. And that was combining a few, you know, different elements into one.
So they're in the process of expanding.
Yeah.
But they're opening locations in neighborhoods where they see themselves in, which is amazing. So they're bringing this combination of these two different cuisines into neighborhoods where they know there's gonna be a demand for their products.
Exactly. And I like the energy in there. It felt like a family experience. Even just the customers were so chill, man. They were so excited for what we were doing. So both of us were eyeing the chicken and waffle.
She said they drizzle it with syrup.
You do see some of the syrup on top. You look closely enough.
This is the shot where you feed me and I feed you?
No, you wish. you wish.
This one passes the flop test.
This one you can fold a little bit. You know, people do dollar pizza for breakfast. Can we do chicken and waffle pizza for breakfast? It's not like any pizza that I'm used to, the flavors here. Just like a breakfast in my mouth right now.
I taste the maple syrup more than anything.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it though.
No, definitely not upset with it. You know, I wonder what would like old school Italians think of this? Because you gotta be open-minded to eat this type of pizza.
They would have a heart attack.
I think some would be curious though. And there's so many things going on with the New York pizza game right now. Like whatever you're looking for, you can find. If you want wild, unique slices, cuts and slices here. But there's so many pizzerias right now that are doing like 3-day fermentation with the dough, importing pepperoni from Italy. You can go so many different directions. I don't think the New York pizza game has ever been as high as it is right now.
Dude, you're right about that, because now you also have Pizza X in Astoria, Queens, and they're doing the crazy Mexican pizzas.
Yep.
With the mole too, on a pizza, mole on a pizza.
You can put your culture on a pizza. Whatever your background is, you can turn it into a pizza now. We've seen sandwiches, but you're right. Now the evolution is in the pizza side.
Right.
It's kind of crazy.
If you think about it, both of these slices have a little bit of his culture in them.
I got the curry oxtail, and I believe Randy said that his background was Trinidadian. So we got so many different types of slices here. And the jerk chicken. You know what impressed us a lot when they were making it? How evenly they spread the ingredients. Like how much oxtail we got on this. Because if you're gonna get a slice and you're spending this kind of money, like you better get your money's worth, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Cheers, guys. I like this one. I didn't realize this, but it has bell peppers.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of bell peppers. I'm gonna have to say this one's probably my favorite slice that I've had today.
You know, I've not had a lot of oxtail before. I think That's Deli might be the last time I've had it. But this is quality right here. So much of it. Packs a strong punch too, strong flavor. Really, really tasty. It's amazing what you can do with pizza, man. Oxtail, really getting popular with the mainstream right now.
Right.
Cuts and Slice is definitely one of the world's most unique pizza spots. You think it lives up to the hype?
In my opinion, it does. Also just speaking with the owners and hearing a little bit about their story and how they got started. It's something that they do with love. I mean, it's not gonna be your cheapest slice that you're gonna find in New York, but the quality is gonna be there. So you're gonna have very consistent, high quality slice whenever you come here.
Special occasion slice, it's a destination. You know, Randy talked about people would hang out in their cars, like a party on the street, eating cuts and slices. That's the vibe they're going for. And I think they hit the nail on the head. You know, is this gonna be something that your pizza purist is gonna love? Maybe not, but if you're adventurous, you owe it to yourself to try them for sure.
Today, we're only eating New York's most iconic breakfast sandwich, the bacon, egg, and cheese. We'll show you some of the best spots in the city to try it and some interesting variations on the classic. And joining me for this food adventure, two fellow New Yorkers. We've got Ben and Ming from the Bing Buzz. All right, we're starting off the video at Eastway Gourmet, just your typical New York bodega. And Ben, we would call this the working man's breakfast, right?
Working man? Yeah, I think so. I've done a lot of night shifts, and every time I see the sunrise, I just couldn't wait for that bacon, egg, and cheese with an overly sweet coffee.
Beautiful, let's do it. Some argue it's a bodega if it's 2 aisles and a deli if it's 3.
Oh, morning.
Morning, could we do 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses on a roll?
Ketchup.
Ketchup, yeah.
Breakfast for champions.
What a start to the day. We've got the classic bacon, egg, and cheese. So we've got bacon, American cheese, I think 2 scrambled eggs inside of a Kaiser roll. It doesn't get much more traditional than this in the city.
I gotta say, they give a generous amount of bacon and the eggs.
And we all added ketchup. I know that's controversial. Tell us in the comments, would you put ketchup on a bacon, egg, and cheese? I say yes, as long as it's on a roll.
I play it safe, that's why I get the ketchup on the side.
This deli's been around for a long time, so let's see how this does. You know, everything is so perfectly balanced in this. I'm telling you, like everything. The amount of bacon, cheese, egg, just right.
Maybe because you brought the camera person in? That's why they hooked you up with so much bacon and eggs?
Yeah.
Because it never had this much bacon, egg, and cheese in one sandwich.
They didn't know we were coming, but yeah, I think they might have gotten a little bit more generous.
This is honestly like 2 sandwich worth of bacon and eggs.
So we can't confirm if they usually give this much bacon, but tell them you saw them on the video. Maybe they'll be nice too.
Yeah, but I'm not complaining though. And the roll is like so nice and soft. And the fact they have so much protein just enhances the sandwich so much more. You never see a bacon, egg, and cheese where the egg and the bacon is thicker than the bread itself.
This is really good. Amazing with ketchup. And John said that he prefers bagels, but I prefer things on a roll. Rolls are easier to eat, smaller, so you get more of the meat inside.
This actually may be one of the best bacon, egg, and cheese I've randomly got from a bodega like in a really long time.
I'm telling you, they hooked it up.
Now you're saying this thing is stacked, but it's not on the Aki Wei level where he's got the honey bun and like 50 other things which we've shown in another video before.
I would eat the Aki Wei bacon, egg, and cheese though.
Aki Wei is still #1 for me, but that's indulgent. That's a little crazy. You want to come to New York, get an everyday breakfast? This is it.
It makes you feel badass after eating it, trust me.
I mean, I got to admit, this is also the perfect food, as you said, for somebody in the morning who's working. You just take this and walk and eat it.
I remember those night shifts where I wake up at 4 a.m. As soon as the sunlight peeks in, I'm like, a nice bacon, egg, and cheese, a small coffee, and some sunlight for some extra serotonin. It'll wake me up.
This is easier to walk and eat with than, let's say, a slice of pizza. I did a little research, and the bacon, egg, and cheese originated in the 1800s, and then towards the Industrial Revolution became more popular in the United States. Then 1950s fast food culture became huge in the US. So if you want to do something super American for breakfast, like this is it.
And a super New York.
Ben, would you say skip the hotel breakfast and order this from a bodega?
100%. Why would you get the continental breakfast? You're in New York.
It's true. Breakfast is one thing in this city that you actually can find pretty cheap.
We've got Tompkins Square Bagels, one of the city's best, and one of their 3 locations. Ming, are you in the mood for a unique bacon, egg, and cheese here?
Always, I'm so ready.
All right, let's check this out.
It's a Sunday morning, a popular New York bagel spot. Very crowded. It's a conveyor belt of bacon, egg, and cheese right here. I love it.
That's an impressive production line.
Want to get 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses, 1 on a sesame bagel and 1 on a French toast bagel?
You want your bagels toasted?
No, that's it.
Can I be next to you?
John. Thank you. All right, Ming, I don't know if you can handle this.
Oh, wow, it's like 50 pounds.
Insider tip, head over to Union Square after Tompkins Square Bagels. Nice spot to enjoy it. 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses on a sesame bagel and a French toast bagel. Sesame is my classic choice. You ever had a French toast bagel before?
First time trying French toast bagel. I usually get the everything bagel with lox, so this is different.
Very different, but every bagel shop in the city, you can get a bacon, egg, and cheese. This is my preferred method of eating this. Let's try it out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Even though this has less bacon than the last spot, I think they gave my bacon to Ming. This is fantastic. I love their bagels so much. Definitely one of my top 5 in the city. Nice and fluffy, don't think you need it toasted. And then the generous portion of egg and cheese on top of the salty bacon. I mean, this is a great breakfast sandwich as far as I'm concerned.
Mine is sweet and salty and soft and warm. It's really good.
Do you like that mix of the sweet and the salty at the same time? How does that work for you?
I'm a sweet girl, but also I love salty. So this is great. I get everything.
And something interesting about Tompkins Square Bagels is they're really well known throughout the city for their wild flavors. We've had birthday cake bagels before there. They've got rainbow bagels. If you can think of it with the cream cheeses, they have a lot of funky stuff. So if you find something like this boring, you've got to check out Tompkins Square. But for a bacon, egg, and cheese, this is tough to go wrong. This is more filling, I'll say.
Oh, for sure.
This is gonna fill you up for the whole morning if you do it with a bagel. You wanna try bagel in New York, and you wanna have like a full breakfast, bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, 2 birds with 1 stone.
That's true. New York, New York. New York times New York.
The bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll, that was breakfast, but this one is brunch.
You're right, you got French toast. You get all your main brunch ingredients in one.
It's really hearty. It's always reassuring when you get the bagel from the right places too.
It's so true. What do you think of the French toast flavor, by the way? You ever had something like that before?
Honestly, I prefer the regular bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll.
Yeah, the bagel is fuller, it's heavier flavor. It does overpower a little bit the bacon, egg, and cheese, I will say, but for someone like me who's a bagel lover, this is the way I prefer to do it. But, you know, to each their own.
You do have to work for it.
Yeah, you gotta work for it a little bit.
It's a lot of biting.
Guys, by the way, if you enjoy watching Ben and Ming as much as I enjoy having them on the channel, check out their YouTube. They do food adventures just like this all the time in New York. Subscribe down below. Yeah, I want to get 2 of the Chinatown egg and cheese sandwiches, both with bacon. We've got Golden Diner, which is a social media sensation. We couldn't even get a reservation at this spot, so we're taking this super unique bacon, egg, and cheese to go. What are you thinking about this?
You know, we're fans of Chinese food, we're fans of bacon, egg, and cheese, but I honestly don't know what's expected in this one.
Let's show you the inside of this place. It's really interesting. What vibes do you get?
It's very lively diner, but also a little Asian fusion vibe.
That looks like a burger.
We got the Chinatown egg and cheese sandwich with bacon, 17 bucks. Soft scrambled eggs, American cheese, a hash brown patty served on a sesame scallion milk bun. Oh, that's a lot of egg.
It's a big boy right here.
This is definitely the biggest bacon, egg, and cheese of the day, and probably the prettiest one as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of fluffy eggs.
I've got to give them credit on the eggs. Like, a lot of attention went into this.
It's also $17, John. It costs 5 times as much as a regular bacon, egg, and cheese.
What does the Aki Way bacon, egg, and cheese cost? About 17 bucks now as well. This is tied for the most expensive bacon, egg, and cheese in the city, I think. But will it live up to the hype? I mean, they told me 2-hour waits on weekends for brunch. I don't know if I'd wait 2 hours. Make a reservation if you want to come here. All right, let's take a bite and we'll discuss what we got going on here. Ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it. This is just bringing like different textures and flavors to a mix that you don't think about with a bodega. Bacon, egg, and cheese, like how soft the milk bun is, the hash brown on top, which, you know, this is different. There was no hash brown on anything else. Even the eggs being super fluffy, this is incredible.
I know it's a bad comparison, but I do like putting hash brown in my McDonald's McGriddle. So this kind of makes me think of it a little bit.
This is sound crazy. Do you think this is too decadent for bacon, egg, and cheese?
Yes and no. I wouldn't mind it at all, actually.
If I'm waiting 2 hours inside at this diner, I think I would order this.
And the scallion taste is actually pretty pungent, pretty strong, in a good way.
Yeah, no, it's all super balanced.
Yeah.
And apparently they pick up these milk buns fresh every single day from a Chinatown bakery.
Yeah. Usually sweetness wouldn't be a part of your bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, but the bun itself has a hint of sweetness to it, which is really good.
Actually, probably less sweet than the French toast bagel too.
Actually, that's true. Usually a roll is just carbs you add to your bacon, egg, and cheese, but this one is something you should really enjoy.
What do you think about the idea behind this? Like a fusion Chinese, Asian diner. Like, diners are dying out in the city.
I think this is probably a right way to do it.
This is a way to get young people interested in diners again.
Exactly. Hip new restaurants and pop-up shops. Courtside fire escape, scallion pancake wrap burrito. It's like all very unique, innovative ideas around food. So I think this is the way to go.
It's more popular for brunch to order avocado toast. I think this is a unique way to bring bacon, egg, and cheese back into the picture at a diner.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too proud of myself eating an avocado toast in the public, but this one you can be eating proudly.
Nobody wants to watch that video. We're not making that video. That's too healthy for this channel. I just feel like they've elevated most of the basic ingredients.
Just drop $1 worth of egg.
I just dropped $1 worth of egg right there. When we talk about trends, I think this is a trend in New York, just elevating basic food items and turning them into something like this.
I eat this every day if I win the lottery.
Wow.
Dropped another $2.
Oh my God.
Look.
This is delicious. I love the hash browns. It's delicious. Eggs are so fluffy. This is really good.
Would you pay 17 bucks for it though? Is it that good?
I would pay for it, but I'd never wait 2 hours for it.
I would pay for this if I had a reservation and we were eating indoors. I just think this is too nice to walk and eat on the street because every little egg you drop is a buck right there. So yes, I would definitely pay for this inside. This is by far the tastiest bacon, egg, and cheese of the day, but it's also no contest because of the ingredients.
Yeah, the hash brown really elevates it so much. Love it. Crunchy, and then the eggs are soft, and you don't need ketchup for this.
No, you definitely do not need ketchup. What do you think about that with New York, that you could find like every type of bacon, egg, and cheese imaginable? We went from bodega to bagel spot to expensive diner action.
Oh, we're blessed.
New York's the best. I love New York.
You know what could make this one better? Be right back.
What?
This, Sean.
Yo, that's what I said.
Oh, this was the missing link here. Not a coffee in Arizona. Amazing.
I'm gonna enjoy this with the rest of the sandwich.
Yeah, it might just be the ultimate New York City brunch. $17 bacon, egg, and cheese, 99-cent Arizona.
Averages out.
Today we're going to New York's best neighborhood for Mexican street food. I'm talking mouth-watering tacos, semitas, quesadillas, and more to show you why New York's Mexican food game is seriously underrated. Hope you brought your appetites. I've got Greg, my native New Yorker, Queens food insider, and Birrialandia is changing the game here in Jackson
Oh
Heights.
yeah, they're the first. They changed the game in New York City tacos, period. Like, started here, now they have 4 trucks around the city.
All right, you can tell they're serious about their tacos when they have their own bouncer.
Y la idea la empezó en la casa cocinando durante varios años y de un día para otro dijo, pues vamos a intentarlo, venderle a la gente, que la gente pruebe nuestros tacos y parece que fue muy popular porque hemos tenido bastante audiencia.
Birria from Birrialandia, often imitated, never duplicated. These were the first people to do birria in New York City.
Yeah, they opened here in 2019. They got 2 stars in New York Times. The same critic gave Peter Luger, the famous steakhouse, 0 stars.
Now, for anyone who has never had birria before, we've got birria de res, we have beef with cilantro, onion, salsa, and the consomme.
Yeah.
All right, you can't forget the consomme.
Never.
The best part's dipping in the consomme by far.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, give it a good dip. Can't be shy. There we go.
All right, let's take a big bite. I've been dreaming about this bite. If anyone ever asks me where's the best taco in New York City, I say right here. I cannot think of a better taco in New York City. So juicy, so delicious. Worth the trek to Queens, or in Manhattan, or in Brooklyn, wherever you are.
Or the Bronx.
Or the Bronx. This is next level. This is like game-changing tacos.
Yeah, I agree. Best in New York City for sure. The taste is great as it has every single time. I love that crispy shell, the tender, juicy meat, just the right amount of spice in here. Phenomenal.
You actually look in the consomme, look at the chunks of beef that you are dipping your birria into. You could eat the consomme on the side. I think I'd be very satisfied if this was all I ate. This was my meal, just the consomme itself. There's a reason there's always a super long line here at Birrialandia. There's a very good reason for it. And if you've never had a birria taco before in New York City, find your nearest Birrialandia and like, what are you waiting for? So that was very cool. The whole truck just came out to take a photo with us because back in 2019, we were the first people ever on social media to include them in a video before even the New York Times. So we're very proud of that and very proud of how successful they've become. So that was a cool moment right there. I could smell this food truck half block away. Any good street food tour needs a sandwich, and this isn't Katz's Deli, not a tourist in sight.
Far from it. This truck, Tia Julia, has been here for years. It's a gem in this neighborhood. One of my favorite sandwiches in all of New York City, the semita. Dos semitas milanesa de pollo. Por favor, corta 2 pedazos, por favor.
You can tell we're in the right spot. We've got a Spanish telenovela playing behind us. So that's the first indicator. And it's $10 for a semita. You've got $10 worth of avocado sticking out of that thing.
This thing is incredible. I mean, it's got so much going on in here. You have the Oaxaca cheese, you have the milanesa de pollo, so like very thin breaded chicken. You have the chipotle, you have beans, and you also have the papalo leaf. That's really what gives it, like, I can't even describe that flavor. It's just extra oomph in here, but that chipotle, oh, I can't even talk about it anymore. We just gotta eat.
All right, bon appetit. I needed 3 bites. Milanesa, first thing, the chicken, breaded chicken, fantastic, so much flavor. There's a little spiciness too, the chipotle. This takes your average boring American sandwich and it just gives it a kick in the butt. Oh.
I love the creaminess. You got creaminess of avocado, creaminess of the cheese, a little bit of mayo in there, but then that papalo leaf hits you. Oh.
So you'll call this one of the best sandwiches in New York City right here?
Easily.
A little treat, Cafe de Olla.
Yep.
What is
Cafe de
this?
Olla. So it's got cinnamon in here. That's really like, I remember drinking this in markets in Mexico City. I love it for breakfast, but I love it even this time in the evening, nice and warming.
Oh yeah.
Perk us up for the rest of the food we're gonna eat.
Perking us up, and I can feel how caffeinated it is, and I taste just that hint of sweetness. You can just stop by here for a coffee if you don't have an appetite.
I've done it, yeah.
Look at this line forming. Would you say this is one of the most popular street food trucks in Jackson Heights, Elmhurst?
It is, yeah, and it's been here for a long time. They've been just consistently delicious too.
Consistently delicious. That's important in New York. If you are not consistently good, people will find another spot. All right, what I find interesting about Las Quesadillas is normally quesadillas aren't something that are featured so much on a menu. It just happens to be there, but these guys specialize in it.
Oh yeah, they've been here for a while too. They actually were used to be a cart, and now they're a full-size truck. They just got this truck recently. So they've been a neighborhood staple for a while. We love them.
And only $3.50. Hola. Me gustaría ordenar una quesadilla con tinga y una de mole y un tlacoyo. Yeah, tlacoyo frijol. That's it. Remember what I said about coming at Jackson Heights to practice your Spanish? Well, they have an English menu as a QR code, but the main menu only in Espanol. Wow. Woo! Look at this. I mean, this is pretty standard issue quesadilla, right?
Yeah, what I love at this spot, they make everything fresh here. You can really just smell the aroma of that corn when they make this. It's, oh.
Vamos. I feel like I'm at my Mexican aunt's house, and she just cooked this up a few minutes ago in the kitchen. Tastes homemade.
I totally agree with you. This really has that homemade taste. It just like put a lot of love into this. Something about the masa here, you really just get that nice corn flavor that really stands out. It's very light too. There's something more like a snack.
You know what I really love about coming to Roosevelt Ave at Jackson Heights? It's the vibe you get on this street. There's so many lights. There's music playing from everywhere, cars honking, the train flying through every few minutes. It's a complete vibe here. It's a complete experience.
So this is kind of a sleeper here at the Quesadillas truck. It's the tlacoyo. So it's made fresh with masa, and inside there's lots of beans. You have your lettuce, crema, some cheese. I love this. It's good for the vegetarians out there.
Never tried this before. Just comfort food, Mexican comfort food on the go if you're in Jackson Heights. I mean, Mexican food has so many different types of cuisines. I've been to Mexico at least 10 times. My wife is from there. I've never had this before. I'm trying new things in New York City that I've never tried in Mexico before. That's the glory of this place. We have not had one thing today on this tour that I have not thought was fantastic. People that live here have no idea how spoiled they are. You are spoiled to live here.
I'm very aware.
I don't know what I like more, the quesadilla or the tlacoyo. I say if you come here, order both. Now, if you're watching this video and you want to explore this part of Queens and you feel intimidated to come out to Jackson Heights, I've got the solution for you. Greg runs the best street food tour in New York City. Book it down below and he can make this kind of day a reality for you. But instead of just Mexican food, you're gonna eat all over the world. Book it now. Don Munchies. This may be the best name for a food truck in history.
Oh yeah, and one of the coolest looking cars I've ever seen in my life. Very colorful.
And it's just desserts and snacks. After the day we've had, like I can't think of a better ending.
Yeah, look what we got. I love their menu too.
We've got churro bites, mini churros, elote, esquite. It feels like we're going to like some little bubble tea shop with the style of the menu.
It just smells phenomenal. I drool every time I walk by this cart. Oh man.
I don't think that's something you think of very often. Street food that's strictly dessert, that's not an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
They gave us I think a free sampling here of the mini pancakes.
Oh, freshly made.
Nutella on top and powdered sugar. Wow. You know, I've never had a mini pancake before. I don't know why I never thought of this. What a genius idea.
Oh yeah.
You see it made right in front of you.
Delicious.
What a day. How are we consuming all these calories? I may never eat again after today.
They gave us an elote to try. Oh man. You can smell that chile. Wow.
We show up with the camera here to Don Munchies and they just keep giving us more and more stuff. We have the mini churros here. Like, I don't know how I signed up for this job, but 8-year-old John will be very impressed and jealous that I get to do this right now. All right, Greg, jump in here.
Let's try this.
You want to be like the hit of any party? Walk in with these. The party will stop, everyone will rotate and move towards you.
Oh man, they're very addictive. I think he nailed the texture of these. It's like nice, crunchy, not overly sweet. It's got that cinnamon bite. These are incredible.
A lot of kids are lining up here too. My parents watching, very good spot. Have a few tables here as well. This used to be a plantain before I got buried by a pound of Nutella, some strawberry sauce, and God knows what else. Oh, this is the sweetest plantain I've ever had in my entire life. I can barely tell it's a plantain. That's not a bad thing though. Cheers to a heck of a night.
Oh yeah.
Drinking the atole right now, which has the cookie.
Yeah, the Maria cookies, a little bit of cinnamon, milk in here. So it's basically like pulverized, like crushed cookies. Basically drinking cookies and milk together. Like, how can you go wrong with that? And not too sweet, actually.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make a bold statement. I think Don Munchies could be the next big place on Instagram or TikTok. Seeing how they make those desserts, I think it lends itself so well to social media, and these guys are gonna be a hit.
I think so too.
What a street, Roosevelt Ave here. Like, what a street. Foodie's paradise.
Can't beat it.
From tacos to churros,
yeah,
anything you're looking for. Today, we'll be showing you how far $100 can go in New York's Chinatown, from dim sum to street food, restaurants, and more. And to make this challenge even more interesting, this budget is gonna go for 3 people. I've got my friends Ben and Ming from the Bing Buzz joining me. We're starting with perhaps the most famous dim sum spot in Chinatown, Ping's.
It's a great spot, great customer service, and has a good ratio of locals to tourists.
That's what we're looking for here. We don't want all tourists. No, 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 no. What's a good sign? Line down the stairs.
If you see a fish tank like this, you know it's a legit Cantonese restaurant.
Is it me or does that guy look just like Anthony Bourdain? Scary resemblance.
We ordered the steamed shrimp dumpling, steamed seafood shumai, the steamed rice noodle with shrimp, and the steamed sticky rice and chicken wrapped in lotus leaf.
Look at this feast for 3 of us. Anyone watching who doesn't know what dim sum is, how would you describe it?
To make it easy, Chinese breakfast.
Chinese breakfast, $2.30. All right, we're starting with the shrimp. Let's do it. Oh, so fresh. Wow, I'm in heaven right now.
The shrimp is the most pumping dish one though, in this one though.
And then here we have the shumai.
Damn, John, you know all the words.
I'm learning a little bit. These 2 have taught me more about Chinese culture and Chinese food than anybody. Let's do it. Oh.
That's as fresh as dim sum gets, really.
I would love to take relatives and friends, never been to New York here, for a Cantonese dim sum experience.
If they love seafood, this is the perfect spot.
All right, we got the rice roll?
Yes, the steamed rice roll with shrimp inside, which is my favorite dish of dim sum. I like to drench it in soy sauce, like back and front.
Messy goodness. Here we go. There it is. That's the spot.
This soy sauce is the best. And the shrimp.
This one takes the longest to pick up, but goes down the fastest.
That's a good point.
This is steamed shrimp and chicken and sausage and other types of meat wrapped in sticky rice, wrapped up in a lotus leaf. So it has all the textures and the ingredients to make everything super hearty and fulfilling.
It's amazing how I've walked by here so many times, and most tourists know about Hop Key and Wo Hop across the street, but I actually think Ping's is my favorite of the three.
For sure.
I've liked every single thing we've had so far, and the service.
Yeah. In the past, you can see Chinatown didn't really have the best customer service, but if you come here, you'll see the difference. And they still cater really well to the local Chinese residents.
Absolutely. So let this sink in. We spent a little bit over $25. We have approximately $75 left, and we had all this food for 3 people already.
Dim sum, take my money.
Take my money. Yes. Ming, some would say going to fried dumpling is like a New York City initiation.
This lady is legendary. You have to be confident, you have to know how many dumplings you want, and you have to be quick.
Gotta be quick, gotta be confident, yes. We've got exact change ready. Hello. Yes, one small order, please. Thank you. All right, Ming is gonna count how many we got. We don't know if we got the 13 that was advertised, and we're too afraid to say anything. Bit of inflation at a famous spot from 33 cents, a fried dumpling, to 38 cents.
38.46.
38.46 cents. You got it down to the decimal.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's a fried dumpling. It's a great value. You know, don't expect the best dumplings in all of Chinatown, but for what she's serving, the amount of food you get for a quick snack, I like it.
It's definitely on the doughier end, but it's great if you're a high school student or a bodybuilder. You want to add some variety to your diet, this is a good choice.
Wait, a bodybuilder would want this?
I think so. You know, good amount of carbs.
Like if you're bulking, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
And Ben.
Oh, hello. Ben, you get recognized more than me now. Wow.
Nice. Kind of like the dollar pizza of dumplings.
I think it is the dollar pizza of dumplings. I like that, right?
I called it the 38.46 cent dumpling.
We're going from $5 dumplings to, dare I say, a more upscale spot, but still affordable.
Nailed it. This place will bring your taste buds to Hong Kong.
All right, I've never been here, and they recently were featured in the New York Times, so they're pretty popular.
We get the crispy garlic chicken and the fried sweet and sour spare rib.
You definitely get a contemporary vibe at Uncle Lou's compared to the last spot we were at, Ping's. 2 different experiences.
Big difference. At the same time, it's very comfortable and cozy. Even the artwork, everything is so intentional. Thank you.
Wow. So we've got the Loa Q favorites in front of us, starting with the garlic chicken. Now, for those who don't know, the waiter, the owner was telling us you've got to go with a Loa Q choices. Why?
That means it's on the OG list. The first wave of Chinese Americans coming from Guangdong, Hong Kong. It's like their go-to dish. You can't go wrong with it.
Let's do this. Let's try it. Wow. So much flavor.
This is the dish that they're known for, and it hits every time.
Right amount of chewiness, so tender, so soft, so juicy. It's kind of insane how you make chicken this good.
And if you look at the way that it's been presented to us, it is the perfect share. We're not going to call this a dim sum spot, but it's a good spot for groups anyway.
Yeah, family style.
And this looks phenomenal. Sweet and sour ribs. Ming's mouth is watering. I don't want to hold her up anymore. Let's do it. Let's try it. Oh.
Still the best every time. It's tangy, with a slight crisp to it, and there's lychee and pineapple in it to give it extra sweetness as well.
Comes right off the bone. Oh, it's like it melts in your mouth. Oof. When I heard rib, I thought it'd be more like the Texas Southern style where you're eating enough of the bone with your hands. Yeah. I've never actually done this with chopsticks before. So thank you for introducing me to something new.
Yeah, these are all cut up into bite-sized pieces so that it's easier to eat with chopsticks.
And on that note, if you want to learn new things, make sure you subscribe to Ben and Ming. If you like the food adventures I have, their channel got plenty more. So subscribe to them right now because they teach me a lot. This was the most expensive spot. Totally worth it for the video. $41.95. Fed like kings or family style. We got to get clever with what's coming up. Something that we don't do enough on this channel is pick a spot that nobody has ever been to. We've just settled on this bakery here.
It's called Nice One Bakery. There's so many bakeries in Chinatown to go to. Trying out this one for the first time.
All right, let's see. Let's try something different. Can we get 3 pork buns? Thank you. I just have to say, somehow I got a lot less pork filling than these two. I don't know why.
It's the luck of the draw.
It's just luck of the draw. There's a metaphor somewhere in this, I don't know. There's a life lesson here.
Buy 2, that's a lesson.
Buy 2, yes. All right, let's take a bite. Let's try this, looks good. Nice and fluffy.
This is the part when we say pillowy.
Pillowy, yes, I like that word.
And usually people eat this for breakfast, but you can also eat it for lunch and dinner, like what we're doing now. So this is pretty much like our bagel. You come here any time of the day, I guarantee a nice steamy hot bun.
They're like little hand warmers too.
After eating all day, we still manage to eat more.
It's incredible. I don't know how we do it, because the food in Chinatown's so good, makes it easy.
Yeah.
You got the world famous Melee Wa right down the street with a huge line, but it's okay to try different spots.
This bakery is nice because it has seating inside for all the locals, the grandpas, grandmas to come and sit, read their newspapers. I like that spot.
I also like the 1980s era menus still there. A lot of character.
You don't know how much these buns are until you get the price.
But we only spent about $5 on this, so what do you say, dessert?
Oh, that sounds good.
I've been here before, huge fan, Ali Mama.
I love this spot. I can't get enough of the cream puffs.
All right, we're in business. All right, we've got matcha munchkins. Try saying that 5 times fast.
Matcha munchkins. Matcha munchkins. What is?
Let's do it.
Very comforting.
Chewy matcha flavor. If you grew up with like a Dunkin' Donuts munchkins, think complete opposite here. Man. Complete opposite situation.
Don't talk to me about Dunkin'.
I think if you mention the name Ali Mama, people are gonna think cream puff.
Yeah, I think so.
This is the go-to here. Let's do it.
Wow.
Wow.
Bro, every freaking time.
The Vietnamese coffee one that I ordered has a little boba in there as well. Tastes like I'm drinking a Vietnamese coffee, more or less. Just strong, which I like. Good flavor. Delicious dessert.
I'm so proud of you getting that flavor.
Yeah? Adventurous.
I got the yuzu cream puff. It's a little citrusy, a little tangy. This is great for if you want something super light and it doesn't have boba in it.
And this one tastes like I'm drinking a brown sugar boba. Crunchy on the outside, super creamy on the inside. Tiny boba goes so well with this. In case you're wondering, the boba here is actually very melty. It's not like the real chewy boba you'll be getting in a bubble tea.
Ben and Ming, I have to say, I'm impressed by the amount of damage we did for $100 for 3 people. I think we got pretty creative.
5 spots. Everything was so delicious.
All right, we've done the tally. We spent $100.25. I'm 25 cents short. And well, thank you, Ming. Thank you. All right, we're good. We're good for this video.